day. Hopefully, I won't have to deal with.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
thank
All right.
you.
Days.
Are you? You should just get you some.
Clinic yesterday?
She did, and actually, that's the.
Oof. Oh, yes, we got it.
Wasn't too busy. It was pretty good.
Okay, good.
They had two. He
That
said,
would have
"How'd you
made
break
it 50
it?"
years ago.
It's
It's
a splint, which I have to wear. This is very exciting.
I can't wait.
And there'll be more stories of how I rode in the car with my mom because she has to drive me. So.
And with the window down, because
Window down.
if you put the window down, the air will circulate, which was an important detail.
You roll down your window. That's a tip.
Right. Speaking of riding with the window down, important. You want to support a local business. You can interact with actual human beings with board games from Haster Game. Pokemon, Dungeons and Dragons, which is all the rage now. It's huge. It's popular. I can't explain it, but it's back. Dungeons and Dragons.
My kids are playing it.
Oh, yeah. Magic, miniatures, dice, and more. You can shop online if you're still kind of, concerned about the COVID. You can shop online at HasterGames.com, buy stuff on their website, and then drive up to the store at 6831 South State Street. Call them when you get there, and they'll bring it out to you. Curbside service, so that's great. Or you can go inside if you'd like. They are 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. Haster has it. All right, so now, where Broadway meet, our building is on Broadway.
Yeah.
To build very special bicycle lanes.
Yes.
Here on Thursday.
Dedicated.
They're very nice.
So and here comes a bike rider toward me on the sidewalk.
Jerk.
On the sidewalk.
He's on the sidewalk coming towards me.
Wienermobile! Sorry.
I ignored it.
You ignored the Wienermobile?
I did.
You can acknowledge in your head the Wienermobile when someone's in the middle of telling a story.
I'm sorry. It's on 3rd South, Broadway, where your story takes place.
So the bike's coming toward you. Tell the story to me and shut off our mic.
Yeah. And so I jerk about it. I wasn't, hey! I never. Bike lane. You could use the bike lane. Said it exactly like that.
Mm-hmm.
Past me. He yells, F off.
Hug off.
I mean, why? I would think you would prefer to use the bike lane.
Sure.
Why would it be more attractive to drive down the sidewalk than
What sort
the
of
bike lane?
What could you tell? What sort of
It was
biker and
well, he was casual, I think.
Was
because
it a hipster or was it,
it was
a guy?
kind of a hipster.
Or was it a DUI guy?
It was a mountain bike, younger guy, no helmet.
Not a DUI guy.
No. But then a minute later, so I just kept walking. A minute later, he scoots right up next to me.
Were you nervous?
And I'm like, I didn't know what to think.
Mm-hmm.
He said, dude, I listen every morning. That was an awesome interaction.
He turned around and came back.
He realized who it was that he had just told to hug off. Yeah.
And I went, okay. I just, the mayor spent an awful lot of time and money on that bike lane. I just thought you might want to use it, is all.
Mm-hmm.
Did he explain why?
He rambled about how he's a passenger, he's a rider, he's a pedestrian, he just goes wherever, some sort of crazy.
Oh, he's like...
It didn't make any sense, and I just kept walking. So.
But he turned around and
Came back.
Did he apologize?
Did not apologize. I think that was his way of apologizing.
Saying I listen to your show.
Saying I listen to your show every morning after I tell you to F off.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I might have said, that doesn't make it okay.
I didn't care to interact anymore. Once he started going on about how he's a pedestrian and a passenger and all that.
Doesn't make any sense.
I went, okay, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. All right, we got things that must go coming up here in just a few moments. But first, big boy news and Opinnuendo, brought to you by.
At University of Utah Health Plans, they provide medical and pharmacy services that meet you right where you are. For those without insurance, there's a special open enrollment period now through May 15th. Enroll today at uofuhealthplans.org.
Chris D'Elia, comedian, accused of soliciting nude photos from a 17-year-old girl. The plaintiff alleges that she sent D'Elia more than 100 photos and videos via Snapchat in 2014, with half of those photos being taken when she was just 17. The woman, who was known in legal documents as Jane Doe, said that she initially messaged D'Elia on Instagram while he was on his Under No Influence tour. And she never really expected to get a reply, but he, in fact, did reply. I was in my final year of high school, and I was groomed by a celebrity twice my age, she said. D'Elia abused his status and fame to lure me in. Of course, the spokesperson for D'Elia has denied all of the allegations, says that he will face them and be exonerated. He'll face them in court. And I'm not really that familiar with him. I think I listened to a podcast that he was on for a while with Will Sasso and another guy.
He's a pretty good comedian. Was
He
a pretty good comedian.
That TV show Whitney with Whitney Cummings.
Yeah.
He was on that.
Oh, I saw that she made some comment about it. And,
pretty good writer, you know.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's always. It's so disturbing when these things happen.
Sure.
You know, they just upset me because they're like these talented people, and then all of a sudden there may be some other side to them that you don't know. And I don't know. But Will Smith, he's a good guy, and he says he might run for president.
Well, just don't. Why?
He says, I might run for political office. In an episode, Pod Save America, Smith joined hosts Jon Favreau, John Lovett, and Dan Pfeiffer to promote his new Netflix docuseries, Amend, The Fight for America, but he also discussed his personal interest in politics. The 52-year-old actor emphasized that he absolutely has an opinion when it comes to activism, systemic racism, and ideas for the country's future. When asked whether he would ever consider running for political office himself, he said, yeah, I might do that. I can't quite see Jada Pinkett Smith as the First Lady.
As the First Lady? I don't know.
I can't quite see it.
I think that's a role that she could get into.
Well, I think as maybe in fiction, maybe. But President Biden has said that he's supporting. He has provided support to Johnson & Johnson, and that will enable the United States and its partners to make coronavirus vaccines around the clock. Now, the factory will never close. They're just going to keep cranking out that vaccine. And Biden said that the United States is on track to have enough supply of coronavirus for every adult in America by the end of May.
You know, the interesting part of this story is not that Johnson & Johnson is going to keep cranking it out. They have come to an agreement with a whole other pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Was that Merck?
Merck, who's going to make the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which I think that's really cool that they can we'll give us the recipe. We'll whip some up.
Just give it. Yeah, we'll just follow the ingredient recipe and we'll be fine. Of course, Texas, their governor has now said it's time to open Texas 100%. Right now, we're going to do it.
Does he know something that the rest of us don't know?
Maybe. Governor Abbott said, COVID has not suddenly disappeared, but the state mandates are no longer needed. All around the country, governors and mayors are calibrating what is feasible, what is safe, and what is politically practical. In Chicago, tens of thousands of children returned to public school this week. While snow-covered parks and playgrounds around the city have been shuttered since last March, were opened. Mississippi has ended its mask mandate. Restaurants in Massachusetts were allowed to operate without capacity limits, and South Carolina erased its limits on large gathering. San Francisco announced that indoor dining, museums, movie theaters, and gyms could reopen on a limited basis. And you're seeing that in Utah as well. It's happening here.
You know when they give you an antibiotic and they say...
Yeah, when you have an infection, that's when.
They say take the whole thing. Don't take half of it and then, well, I feel better, I'm not going to finish the whole bottle. They say take all of it because there could be... lingering infection that you don't know about, and if you stop taking the antibiotic before the whole thing is gone, it could come back. So if we keep wearing masks for a while, even though things look better, maybe we'll help tamp it down a little more.
The Utah Department of Health's COVID-19 report for Tuesday shows an increase in Utah of 487 confirmed cases, bringing the state's total to 371,979. 9 additional deaths have been reported here in Utah. But our governor says we're going to open everything by July 4th, he hopes. There are entertainment venues now starting to open up in Salt Lake. There's a list of them. I'll bring it up next news. But there's a website you can go to and see if your favorite entertainment venue has reopened. Clark Planetarium has announced that they're reopening, for instance.
We've been doing ads for them.
Yeah. The Utah man was arrested for stealing a dog and setting it on fire. The Tooele man is in jail. Police were notified that the dog had been stolen. The dog's owner told police that the 40-year-old suspect had been at her house giving the dog treats, which she believed was highly suspicious because he didn't normally do that, she said. The dog's owner said that when she left her home, the suspect was still outside with the dog. When she returned, the suspect and the dog, which had been in a fenced-in yard, were gone. Later on Monday, Tooele police received a report, and we talked about it yesterday, and it was the Boner winner yesterday.
Yes.
That a dog had been set on fire out by the interstate, out by I-80. Pending formal charges, the suspect has been booked into the Tooele County Jail for investigation of torture of a companion animal, criminal trespass, theft, and arson. According to police, the suspect specifically targeted the dog to directly intimidate his ex-girlfriend and her daughter. So,
he's a damn monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lock him up.
FBI Director Chris Wray, yesterday, was testifying and said, "We have found no evidence that any far-left groups, such as Antifa, if there is such a thing, participated in the violent mob of Donald Trump supporters who attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, despite persistent conspiracy theories." That's according to Chris Wray, the FBI director, adding that racially motivated violent extremists, white supremacists, and members of militant groups like Proud Boys and Oath Keepers represented most of the people. That represents most of the people we've arrested so far.
It's a fact that will not be accepted by people
Well,
it doesn't matter what he says.
What is it?
Even
Was
Mike
it
Lee.
Senator Johnson?
Yeah.
Sitting there, then just in the halls of Congress saying, there are a lot of people impersonating Donald Trump supporters in that crowd.
The FBI investigated it and said, no.
We're the FBI. We've looked into this. It's all
Here's
these guys.
Under questioning from Senate committee member Senator Ron Johnson, a Texas Republican, Wray agreed that many associates of these far-right groups who have been arrested may not be a part of a formal organization with clear command and control hierarchies comparable to like Al-Qaeda or something like that, but they are still extremist, domestic terrorist groups. And Johnson continued to say things like, well, I think there were just a lot of people there impersonating Trump supporters.
You have no evidence of that.
That's not what the FBI is saying. They have their records. They have all of their
That's
Facebook
fine, but
posts.
what I think...
what you think is not correct.
But I think... I
Well,
don't
I'm
have
glad,
any evidence, but...
Think is a word I don't think you should be using, but there you go.
A swarm of locusts has filled the skies over Saudi Arabia. Skies turned black because of locust swarms.
Really?
People recorded it on their phones. It's
That's on brand
it's
for this year.
It's time for the apocalypse to happen, apparently. And let's see, are we done? Let's see, one quick one.
Yeah, the apocalypse is a few months late, if you ask me.
Oh, and horny toads are disappearing. Swarms of locusts and horny toads are disappearing.
We have a horny toads shortage?
Yeah, well, the Texas horned lizard, horny toad,
Yes.
they used to be everywhere, people are saying, and I am hearing. But they are becoming more and more, they're becoming fewer and fewer, scarcer. And scientists say, yes, that's true, and we don't know why. The horny toad population is disappearing.
Bill, I don't need one more thing to worry about. Now I have to worry about the disappearance of horny toads. I don't need one more thing.
Well, and the Pope said we're going to have a second flood, so,
And he is infallible.
Yeah.
So
In case you didn't know, Gina.
I'm just
the Pope's
reminding you.
infallible. The Pope's infallible.
I heard that somewhere.
Did you hear that at Catholic Church?
Over to the Catholic Church.
You heard that over to the Catholic Church, didn't you? I bet you also heard that he's God's emissary on earth.
I did hear that also.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's it. Sports weather traffic?
Well, Shaquille O'Neal is still...
Is what?
He's still facing criticism for his criticism of Donovan Mitchell. Sweet, innocent, excellent basketball player, Donovan Mitchell. And here's Shaq's thing. He's in my daying. In my day, if one of the old timey guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said, hey, you haven't won a championship yet. You ain't all that. I just sucked it up and took it. I wasn't whiny. Donovan Mitchell's not whiny. There's nothing whiny about him. So back off, Shaq, and you will see Donovan Mitchell not whining today. Early game, 5 o'clock game. The Jazz playing the Philadelphia 76ers. Weather, Carrie, if you could help me out with weather, that would be awesome.
Oh, good heavens! I didn't realize. I'm terribly sorry.
Let me give it to you. Let me give you the
All
weather,
right.
and then you can help me out. 37 right now. It's going to be 60 for a high today.
Yeah.
Quite warm, sunny. Now, tonight into tomorrow, there's a chance of some rain / snow. It's not going to snow. It's not going to get cold enough to snow, but some rain will cool things off a little bit. And then Friday, high of 61. Saturday, 63. Very spring-like temperatures.
Weather brought to you by Scott Hale. The spring thaw means great deals at Scott Hale. Give your furnace a tune-up for just $30. Call Scott Hale, 801-264-HALE.
My only traffic I have to tell you about is a crash southbound Highway 36. This is Mills Junction in Tooele County. The right shoulder's affected there. And what's affecting you? You can tell us. Share it with us. We'll help you. Text it in if it's safe for you to do that, 33986.
All right. Is this sponsored?
It's brought to you by Kleenex.
Oh.
They're the tissueiest.
No. You
No?
could say no.
Okay.
You could say no.
Just say no. It's all right.
Things that must go on the radio. From Hell Show.
These are things that are bugging you, friends of the program. And you send them in to us via email, radiofromhell@x96.com. You put Musco in the subject line, and sometimes we read them and we go, huh? Why is that bugging you? That's weird.
What's the big deal?
But it helps it get
Your baby? You're just a baby.
Yeah. If it helps get it off your chest, then we're performing a valuable public service. So this one, I'll start here. It says, hello, I'm a big Jeopardy fan. And I've been watching the show for years, and as you know, in November, the great Alex Trebek passed away. He was a great man who left behind a great legacy as one of the greatest game show hosts of all time, next, of course, to the legendary Kerry Jackson, host of Beat Gina. Since then, they've been having guest hosts on Jeopardy, with Ken Jennings recently finishing his stint. Now the Jeopardy executive producer Mike Richards is filling in. My thing that must go is everyone complaining about the guest hosts not being like Alex Trebek. No, they're not Trebek. They never will be Trebek. And we can't hope to have anyone exactly like Alex Trebek ever. However, everyone who is hosting has a great love for the game and respect for trivia and knowledge, and they've done good jobs. Trebek always said the show will continue without him, and while I too deeply miss him and his voice and mannerisms, the new hosts are doing a fantastic job keeping the game alive. I will still watch it no matter what.
Nice.
Because, as Alex used to say, the show is not about the host, but the players and the game. I hope Jeopardy continues a long time into the future. That's from Tyson. This one says, what must go is my dog barking at every other dog she sees when I take her for a walk. My arms are 2 inches longer due to her constant pulling. You need to train your animal. Developers who try to put 17 apartments in a space that would normally house only one family. People in cars who pull across the sidewalk when I walk through Sugar House. I swear one of these days I'm going to open their car door and walk right through the car. And okay, these may be first world problems, but nonetheless, love your show. And I work in a hospital in the Valley. Most of the staff bathrooms have a keypad to enter a 4 or 5 digit code to unlock the door. Once inside, you lock the door from the inside.
Yeah.
The keypad will not work when somebody's in there with the door locked.
Okay.
What must go is the moron who will until you yell.
That needs to be in all public restrooms. It's,
All right. Carrie?
Rachel, my thing that must sponsor this.
Uh-oh.
Tissues. And try to find the edge to pinch the thing, and you're pulling out like tab. They should have a tab or something. Thanks for finding a way to continue to broadcast and stay chill. This one from my must go is my coworker that doesn't seem to care or notice that literally nobody listens when they talk.
Oh, that's sad.
Now, I know this sounds mean, but it's a small office. We're told 50-plus times, and they take 3 hours to tell. And we can all recite these stories verbatim. Complicates things is they just return to work after insensitive jerk, but I don't know how much. See this one from some people, a.k.a. Karens, that show up to the grocery store with their underwear off and put it over their face.
Oh, that's... Son, you got to pay.
All right, that's what I got.
Gina?
One from me, uneven curbs must go. Went back to in-person learning. Parents complained when we were just on. We don't have enough subs on Tuesdays. The kids have to go to the gym. Must go. Also, district into returning and threatened withholding money and dissolving our district. By the way, our union is holding a press conference today. I think that was yesterday, actually. Not for Salt Lake City School District. Thank you all. You can use my name, Lena. Then there's this one from Stacy. People's work. I work for a company that ships product daily. The amount of people who don't understand that shipping time is business days and doesn't include weekends is staggering. Also, I'm sorry the storm in Texas has delayed your shipment. We don't control the weather either or the postal delivery schedule. Thanks for letting me vent. Stacy. And finally this. I'm sure I'm the 96th person to say this, but comments about how it's a so-called novelty of you guys working from home must go. I've been a dedicated listener since God knows when, and I can say that the show has not suffered in the slightest during this time. If it wasn't for you guys working at home, we probably wouldn't have gotten farting around, my new favorite feature. Breathless Sean Means...
You think something like farting around just happens?
Yeah,
no, it has to be a certain harmonic convergence. Anyway, sorry, go ahead, Gina.
Breathless Sean Means walking in the park and doing his movie reviews. Keep up the good work. Make mine a double. At home, please. Geek Show says hey. And go get him, Gina. Love, Brady.
Gina, the novelty of you broadcasting from home is wore off, man.
On the radio.
Traffic, Gina, please.
Yeah, just that one accident I told you about a minute ago in Tooele County. It's southbound Highway 36 at Highway 138 Mills Junction. It is off to the right shoulder. Other than that, I'm looking at UDOT cameras, which are telling me that things are smooth sailing. If you see something that's not smooth, say, this is bumpy. I should tell Radio from Hell. You can text it to us, 33986.
All right. Okay, we will take a break. We will be back. We got round one of your boners coming up. Stand by for that. And, a whole lot more. Dr. Cobble at 7:45. Warm you up right now. You can talk to a doctor about COVID, about masks, about vaccines. It's a doctor. It's not some friend's Facebook page. Trust me, if you send me a link that starts with Facebook, I will not be going to it. Thank you. But we'll be back with more of that after these. Let's see. We need a message now from Farmer and Chemist.
I have become a fan of this place in Midvale, Farmer and Chemist. It's a locally owned store that sells CBD products, cannabinoid products. No THC. A couple of them have a little bit of THC in them, but this is all perfectly legal stuff. And I talked to there are two pharmacists involved and a chemist. And I said, so CBD, what does that do for you really? And they said, well, people make a lot of wild claims about what CBD can do, but what we know scientifically it can do is help with muscle soreness, arthritic pain, and sleep deprivation. For sure, we know that it works for that. And it's true. I've been using these Farmer and Chemist products on some arthritis I have in my hand, and it does wonders. Just check them out. Go online to farmerandchemist.com or go to the store in Midvale. They're on historic Main Street, 7719 South Main. Mention X96. You get 20% off any of their products. I've been trying many of them, and I'll tell you more about them coming up. farmerandchemist.com. I had a Mary Jane candy yesterday.
I've never heard of a Mary Jane candy.
Mary Jane's.
You get that in Colorado?
You ever had a Mary Jane?
No.
Famous old candy. Originally made in 1914.
That's probably stale.
By the Charles N. Miller Company, later by Stark Candy Company, now manufactured by Necco.
Oh.
And
did you go back to Backyard Birds?
no, my 11-year-old daughter, little Mrs. Bill, went up to the 7-Eleven and came back and said, look, they have Mary Jane's up there.
She knows what that is?
Sure, she's had them before. But listen, we know candy in our family.
Old candy.
And new candy. They know all kinds of candy. The candy, Mary Jane's, Charles Miller invented this candy and named them after his favorite aunt, Mary Jane.
Ah.
And there's a picture of a little girl on
Wonder how his other aunts felt about that.
well, he had a favorite aunt, Mary Jane. Maybe he didn't have any others, but they're terrible.
Really?
I'd forgotten how terrible they are. I think they maybe used to be a little better. It's peanut butter, essentially, or peanut. There used to be peanut butter, sort of more peanut butter in them, and peanut butter and molasses. And they're chewy, like taffy.
Yeah.
But now they're just more sort of molassesy and sugary and very little peanutty. I was disappointed, but she was excited to find them and enjoyed them. Never had a Mary Jane? No. Would you eat a Mary Jane if somebody gave you one?
Not when you've described it, how terrible it is.
Well, but I mean, if I just said it was peanut butter and molasses, would you go, oh, I'll try that?
Yeah.
You don't have anything against molasses? No. It's just kind of...
What would I have against molasses?
Well, I don't know. You have weird food things.
Molasses is fine.
I thought, I think it's...
I have things in common with molasses.
That's well, you're as slow as it.
Yes.
But in January, that's what my mother used to say. Would you hurry? You're as slow as molasses in January, which is, I think, the slowest of all molasses.
And I'm referencing Bugs Bunny twice again on today's show.
Yeah.
He was borrowing a cup of molasses from somebody. He had his coffee cup. Elmer shot a hole through it. And it's snowing around, okay? And it starts to run out, and he goes, I didn't think molasses would run in January.
There you go. And then of course, there's all different. There's blackstrap molasses, which is the realies. See, I didn't think you'd like molasses because it's too strong.
It's
it's like strong syrup.
You don't need a spoonful of it. It's an ingredient amongst other things.
Some people use it in lieu of syrup on things.
Ew.
They'll drizzle molasses on their pancakes or on cereals or whatever. I find it a little. Oh, and the brand of molasses that you buy in the grocery store
has a rabbit on it.
It's Brer Rabbit.
Yeah.
Brer Rabbit molasses. So I
insist on Brer Rabbit molasses.
I don't
when
think
buying molasses.
I don't think we can go into the whole reason that why Brer Rabbit might be on the
Ask your grandpa about Song of the South, kids.
yeah, or when you go to Disneyland, what is it? Big
It's,
Thunder
Splash
Mountain?
Mountain.
Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain is full of characters that Disney no longer promotes or uses.
But they're in there.
Had that ride.
But that's the only place. Your laughing place. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Your laughing place.
That's where Brer Rabbit is.
Yeah. I like that ride, actually.
Always get wet.
And it's a nice place to cool off at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm. All right, it's 7:05 right now, and you can see us broadcasting from our homes at x96.com/live.
Hello.
Radio from Hell Television, a little glitchy today, but we think we got it fixed now. So you can watch at x96.com/live. Our cameras set up here in our homes, and there's Katie in the main studio in Salt Lake, making it all go into your ear hole and eye hole.
Hi, Katie.
There, just boom, right there. Is this sponsored, Gina?
By
Turn your mic
itself.
Okay. That's right. That's right.
It's its own thing.
It is its own thing. That's right. Katie, hit that thing, would you? Yeah.
You need to hit that button, yeah.
The following is a sponsored feature.
That's right. Okay.
All right. Here we have Mark Stewart with the Advocates. How are you this morning, sir?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. Mark is an attorney, in case you didn't know.
He's an advocate.
He works, UtahAdvocates.com. And I've often wondered about this. Uninsured motorists and uninsured motorist insurance. Can you explain how all of that stuff works, Mark?
Yeah.
Sure. So there's actually two things. There's an uninsured motorist who's obviously someone that's driving that does not have auto insurance.
And that's against the law, right?
That's against the law, yeah. Utah law requires that you have auto insurance.
Okay.
And then there's an underinsured motorist. An underinsured motorist is part of your auto insurance coverage that allows you to make a claim with your own auto insurance if you get in an accident with someone and you're able to get their policy limit.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't fully satisfy the value of your case, then you can open up a claim with your own auto insurance to seek additional money. So one of the reasons you'll hear people, a lot of injury firms or even insurance companies, advertising that you should make sure that you have enough insurance is because of a situation like that where you were to get in an accident, and let's say it's a severe accident and you have pretty bad injuries, and the person that hit you is underinsured, or they only have the state minimum requirement, which in Utah is $25,000. So any insurance policy sold in Utah has to have at least $25,000 of coverage.
Okay.
Let's say you got in a bad accident and that's all that driver had, and that's not going to be enough to pay all of your medical bills. You can then make a claim as long as you have it with your own auto insurance for this underinsured coverage, but you want to make sure that you have enough money there too, not just the $25,000, so that you can get everything paid for.
It seems kind of arcane and too convoluted. Is there a better solution? I mean, I don't expect it to be solved overnight, but why? It just doesn't seem that should have to happen. You should just be able to, everybody's insurance should cover them, period, right?
Right, and the tough thing is like I said, is Utah has a state minimum of only $25,000. And a lot of people, that's the most coverage that they purchase because obviously that's the cheapest coverage. And so probably the best way to fix it would be for the legislature to increase the minimum value. Because even if they increase the minimum value, what they would end up doing is the insurance companies as a whole could keep the rates lower, but it would allow people to at least have more coverage. So if they increase the rates up to 50 or something, there may not be as many problems.
But they won't do that because the insurance companies don't want them to do that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The insurance companies would be lobbying the legislatures big time to keep it down.
Yeah. Well, so somebody's involved somebody gets involved in an accident, and this is confusing enough just on the surface. Trying to deal with it yourself is probably not something you should do. And I mean, we talk about calling the advocates all the time, but I think if you call 801-355-5550 and talk to an advocate, you guys can explain it to them and see if there is further recourse that they have, right?
Sure. Yep. We always encourage anybody that's in an accident, just give us a call. We'll be happy to explain what you need to do. A lot of people don't even know the first step of who they should call as far as what insurance company and so forth. So call us. We'll walk them through it. And then, really, if you have a case, if you're injured, it is easiest just to turn it over to someone and let us deal with the hassle of talking to the insurance company and handling your medical bills and making sure that you can just focus on getting better.
It's so much easier just to turn it over to guys like you because I remember you remember Hal, my talking car, Bill?
I sure do.
I was driving back home from Salem on I-15, and this car that was going the other way swerved and crossed over the median into my lane, and I T-boned him. And luckily, I had an attorney who could handle that and said, we're going to talk to the insurance company about just declaring your car totaled. And this other people, they are uninsured. And, well, you shouldn't sue them because basically they have nothing. So, it was just easy to turn it over to somebody and let them. And so I came out with a new car and everything was great.
Mark, why are there, when you get involved, when the advocates get involved, and you talk to the insurance companies, how do the insurance companies, do they prefer dealing with attorneys, or do they think that when they hear from you they go, oh God?
It's been my experience that they don't like hearing your call, but
I would say they definitely would rather have someone not have an attorney because then they feel like they can take advantage of them.
Exactly.
And the biggest reason is because they know an individual doesn't really know the value of their case, and they don't know what legally is supposed to happen. And so insurance companies all the time will call someone after an accident and say, hey, sorry that our insured did this. We'll give you $500 today if you'll sign this document. And a lot of people think, oh, that seems pretty fair. And as soon as they sign, then the case is closed. So, they would much rather not be hearing from us.
Yeah.
All right.
Mark, and you will answer the phone, 801-355-5550. You'll answer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right?
That's right. And the other thing that people can do is go on our website and they can chat with an attorney if they're not able to call in.
At 3 o'clock in the morning?
Sure.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
And can they say...
Accidents happen all the time.
And can they say, Mark, is this you I'm chatting with?
Yeah, they can.
Okay.
All right.
Mark,
Thanks,
nice to
Mark.
talk
Thank you,
to you.
Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll see you.
Okay. Traffic, Gina, please.
Well, no accidents to tell you about right now. No slowage, no things in the road, no animals running loose. At least as far as UDOT's telling me. If you see any of those things and you want to share it with us, and it's safe for you to do that, you can text it in 33986.
Traffic brought to you by Scott Hale. The spring thaw means great deals at Scott Hale. Give your furnace a tune-up for just $30. Call Scott Hale, 801-264-HALE.
All right. You want to get ready for Boners Round 1. Here are the candidates you will be considering. Listen closely. Boner candidate number 1. She stole my goat, and she painted it. Boner candidate number 2. Can a vaccine be morally compromised? And boner candidate number 3. The shaman is an artist and a work in progress.
All right, so Boners Round 1, Big Boy News, all coming up after these. Stand by. QuickQuackCarWash.com.
Oh, you're going to want to wash your car today. It'll be sunny and beautiful. And if you had that membership to Quick Quack Car Wash, you could do it anytime the sun is out and make sure your car's super clean.
Yeah, just go to don'tdrivedirty.com, and you can get a very affordable, unlimited membership starting at just $19.99 per month, and then you can take your car to Quick Quack Car Wash anytime you want. And then the Family Flock program, you can add up to 4 additional vehicles onto the membership for $15 per vehicle per month, and they can go anytime and get your car washed.
It's brushless. It's eco-friendly soaps. They recycle their water, free vacuums, free detailing tools. I like that. There's a little blower, almost like a little hair dryer that you can blow off the water off your windshield and your rearview mirrors. I like that.
And they're very fast as well. So if you want to find a Quick Quack Car Wash near you, just go to don'tdrivedirty.com.
Well, Punk, let's get to the movie review, shall we?
There we go.
That's why nothing to spend in the summer in and out of health facilities, like 18 Fingers of Death.
Tell us who stars in this opus.
Well, this is the only movie that's better than 17 Fingers of Death.
Yeah.
It stars James Liu.
Oh, so this is a sequel then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Buford, the down-and-out action hero.
James Liu, okay.
Okay.
And we got Maurice Patton.
Yeah.
He's Ronald Mack, the college student and wannabe director.
Okay.
Lisa Arturo.
No.
She's Sushi Q, the Honorable Fortune Cookie CEO.
Okay.
Pat Morita.
Oh, well, there's a name I recognize. Arnold from Happy Days.
So I know this movie's at least a year old, right?
Exactly. Well, I noticed he's got lots of others that are in post-production.
Oh, God. All right.
He's the humble restaurateur. We got Lorenzo Lamas.
Lorenzo
Lamas, yeah.
He's a Antonio Bandana, the singing martial artist.
Okay.
Oh.
Robin Shue.
This sounds like just a great movie.
Yeah.
He's Jackie Chong.
Yeah.
And we got Charlie George Brown as Chuck Snorris.
Chuck Snorris. Okay.
Oh, God.
And Kurt Graves as Steven Seafood.
Okay. Tell us the plot of 18 Fingers of Death.
Well, as far as I can tell, this guy starred in 803 of the finest action movies ever filmed, but he's come up with a script for what could be his breakout role. But when the producers back out and pull his funding, he's forced to pull out the "Will Work for Kung Fu for Money" sign and sell his Kung Fu movie memorabilia in order to get enough money to make a movie in 1 week for the Sundance Film Festival.
God.
And they managed to get like about 90 minutes out of this?
Yep.
Jeez.
A full 90 minutes.
All right, have you got a scene from 18 Fingers of Death?
Yeah, I thought I'd give you a little Pat Morita.
Okay.
Oh, good. Pat Morita.
So here we go.
Oh, Mr. Lee, listen, I've always been wanting to know, do you have Chinese Jews? Chinese Jews? Oh, very sorry today, sir, no Chinese Jews. We only have the apple Jews and the orange Jews.
Oh, man.
This is worse than I even dreamed.
Yep. What are you giving this movie, Punk?
I'm actually giving it 3.5 Prozac.
What? It's the pills talking, Punk.
It's the prednisone. I think it's the prednisone. For digging up guano, lining up to fight. You can only fight the good guy one at a time.
That's
you
right.
have to circle him.
Yeah.
Feathered hair, the drunken bastard, Bong Fu the series, a wicker basket beaten, bow tie in the kitchen, cowboy foo, a fallen in love montage, an attack midget, and yes, learning to speak out of sync.
Learning to speak out of sync. All right, and what junk food are you going to have while you watch this movie?
I think you need to gather a few Lynn Wilson's meat and cheese burritos with extra cheese and onions. You can mix in the Durkin's French fried onions as you need. A nice meatball hero, some Rainbow Twizzlers, a bunch of Starburst, Reese's Pieces, a bag of Honorable Fortune cookies, and, yes, a nice cold canister of Lost Energy drink.
All right, Punk.
Wow, sounds lovely.
For those of you that are lost.
All right.
18 Fingers of Death.
The movie that's better than 17 Fingers of Death.
All right.
Anybody tried that Coke with coffee yet? By the way, we just did the ad. I haven't seen it around.
If they sold them in singles, do they sell them in singles?
I don't know. Probably.
Because anytime I go to the store and I look for these new flavors, and you have to buy a pack of them, and I just want to try it. That's all. You know? Anyway, I'll try it someday, I'm sure. Still trying to try the cinnamon Coke.
Yeah.
Which you can't buy a single of that?
Can't buy a single of the cinnamon Coke.
Well, just buy.
I bet at a convenience store they have them in singles.
You think?
Not at a grocery store, but like at a Maverick. Check out a Maverick. I bet they have.
I look forward to trying them all. All right. It is time now for round one of your boners. Here we go. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. And you will decide with your votes of these 3 candidates which one is the worst. Which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day? Winning here does not make it boner of the day. Gives it a chance. Round 2 comes up at 8:20. We do this again. We get 3 more candidates and another winner there. We take the winner of each round, 1 and 2, and put them against each other. At 9:20 this morning is when you decide boner of the day with Boner Fight. Right now, you're picking a champion from this round 1 to send forward. Here we go. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, you will vote. And one of you lucky random boner voters will receive.
Well, and I mean, don't get too excited, but there's some discussion as possibly sometime soon being able to actually pick up your Radio from Hell Can't Buy It, Gotta Win It boner t-shirt.
And if you've won one in the past 348 days, and you're on a list, be listening. You may be able to get your shirt. Here's boner candidate number 1. She stole my goat, and she painted it. Gulf Shores, Alabama. A woman was arrested on animal cruelty charges after officials say she stole a neighbor's goat and painted it without permission. Erica,
If she'd
I
asked, I
don't know
would have
why.
said, sure, you can paint my goat.
I don't think so. I'm thinking even if she'd asked for permission. But
Go to x96.com/live and you can see a picture of the goat. It's a cute little thing.
Erica Marie Farmer arrested for the crime. Farmer also faces a theft of property second-degree charge. According to officials, the theft of any livestock in the state of Alabama falls under felony guidelines.
Wow.
Deputies say that Ms. Farmer removed the goat from her neighbor's property, brought it to her house to show her kids, and then at some point she decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to paint that goat.
Oh, it's so cute.
Paint it purple.
They say that when the goat's owner discovered the animal was missing, they called a different neighbor to ask if they'd seen the goat. You seen our goat? Now, one thing missing from this story, I don't know what the goat's name is.
Should be Oat. The goat.
No, it should be Goaty. Shouldn't it be little Goaty? And at that time, the neighbor told them, well, I think maybe your goat has been painted because I've seen it on social media. I've seen it on Facebook. Your goat, your neighbor took your goat and she painted it. Mm-hmm. The goat's owner called the authorities, and yes, the goat was still at the suspect's house when the deputies arrived. Now, when I saw this headline of this story, which said Alabama woman faces felony charge after stealing goat and painting it, I thought, she stole Tom Brady? The greatest of all time?
No. And painted him?
No. Boner candidate number 1, she stole my goat and painted it. Here's boner candidate number 2. Can vaccines be morally compromised? The Archdiocese of New Orleans, I believe those are Catholics,
I believe so.
has advised, Catholics, it says here, has advised Catholics against receiving the new Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine,
been through this.
calling the one-dose shot morally compromised.
It's not.
In a statement on Friday, you're sure, Gina? You're sure it's not? Well, because I hear you protesting so much, I'm thinking, well, maybe it is. In a statement on Friday, the religious organization said the new vaccine should be avoided due to its link to an abortion-derived cell line. Gina, please. Used in the vaccine's development and production phases. Just you saying it's not does not make it so.
When we have Dr. Cobble on in about 20 minutes, let's ask him.
Who are you trying to convince here? That's what I want to know, because this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
There are people, though, you say that, but there are people that will hear that and go, well, I guess it's true, and I'm not going to take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
I think you yelling it's not will change their minds immediately.
Between the two of you, I'm confused as to who the boner is now.
It's the Catholic diocese in New Orleans. See, even so, apparently there are no aborted fetuses in this vaccine.
No,
zero. But even if there were, I would say this is stupid.
Yeah.
The vaccine cannot be morally compromised, nor can you be morally compromised from taking for taking it. It's boner candidate number 2.
All right.
Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. The shaman is an artist and a work in progress.
Boner candidate number 3 for round 1 coming up after this. Big Boy News and Opinnuendo brought to you by...
Now through April 4th, save up to $100 instantly on select sets of 4 Nitto, Pirelli, or Toyo brand tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Vaccine, 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 vaccine. Dolly Parton got her shot.
Good.
And she sang that. Indeed, sang vaccine to the tune of Jolene. Last year, of course, Dolly Parton donated $1 million to Vanderbilt University's Medical Center, which worked with the drug maker Moderna to develop one of the first coronavirus vaccines to be authorized in the U.S. I don't think this one is morally compromised, by the way. Not like that Johnson & Johnson one.
None of them were. And she, bless her heart, she's denied getting it or said she wouldn't get it for a while because she didn't want people to think, oh, sure, she donated money just so she could get to the head of the line. She's like, no, I don't want to do that.
I would have reminded Dolly that even if people thought that, it's crap, and you should, if you have the chance to get the shot, get it. But she's 75. She received her shot at Vanderbilt Health in Tennessee. Also, in celebrity news, Christopher Lloyd is apparently going to star in a Back to the Future series based on DeLoreans. It says Lloyd, who played, of course, Doc Brown, the inventor of the time machine DeLorean in Back to the Future, is teaming up with Expedition Unknown host Josh Gates for the on-the-road adventure, which will stream as a 4-part series on Discovery starting March 15th.
So it's going to be about these people who, get these old DeLoreans and restore them, and
yeah.
So it'll be like that.
That'd be kind of interesting, probably.
I remember when this was all farmland as far as the eye could see.
Exactly. The city of South Jordan is suing a man who was arrested last summer after allegedly stockpiling explosives in his home, saying the house is dangerous and needs to be torn down.
Wow.
The McManigal house is and will remain a literal minefield until the structure is demolished, reads a complaint filed on Tuesday. Ryan Lynn McManigal, who is currently incarcerated, was arrested in July of last year and charged with attempted murder and the use of weapon of mass destruction after a standoff with police outside of his home in South Jordan. When the police arrived, he fired a gun at officers in an armored vehicle. Then he finally surrendered, and police found 20 pounds of explosives in the house. Bomb experts removed what they could of the explosive substance, identified as, this doesn't mean anything to me, but will to somebody, I guess, triacetone triperoxide, or TATP, but some of the stored material in the basement could not be safely removed. So there's a house sitting there in South Jordan that could blow up,
at
apparently.
any time?
Authorities evacuated about 600 surrounding homes, 30 businesses. Then a bomb squad detonated the material. The force from the detonation was so strong it lifted the first floor of the house several inches off the foundation.
Wow.
The house made news a second time in October when a man making repairs at the house triggered another explosion and was injured. Apparently the whole house is secretly booby-trapped in certain ways.
And I got news for you. It's not the only one. I'll bet that there are a lot more that are secretly booby-trapped in today's,
In these trying times?
In these trying times, exactly. I know of one.
What?
Yes.
Well,
would tell us off the air?
Off the air. I'll tell you about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Let's see. Maybe it was related to this. People apparently heard or felt shaking of some sort last night in at least 3 counties here in Utah.
Really?
Reports came from as far north as Davis County, all across the Salt Lake Valley, and even in Provo.
What time was this at?
University of Utah seismographs confirmed that it was not an earthquake. Let's see. It doesn't... It says in this story what time.
Well, I think roughly around 8 o'clock-ish or something last night, I felt something, and ever since the earthquake last year, I've been super, shaky and scared of anything.
We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary.
Yeah. And I heard something, or it felt like something hit my building last night. Like, it felt like a truck hit my building or something, because I was like, what is that? And I freaked out for a minute, and then it was gone, and nothing happened.
It doesn't say what time it was, but it says... so they're thinking it could be sonic booms from fighter jets. But the 388 Fighter Wing said another sonic boom to be unlikely to happen.
Yeah, Steph said she felt it at about 8 o'clock last night, in the 8 o'clock hour anyway.
Although they are still training. They're doing a lot of training with the jets. That's probably what it is, and the military doesn't like to admit it. So they say it's unlikely. But, the pilots, they enjoy,
Our friend Ivy at Boostique posted at about 8:10 last night. She said she felt it on.
There's something about pilots that, if they can do it,
they like to buzz the tower, Bill.
Well,
is that what you're talking about? They like to buzz the tower.
Our old friend Ken Fish in the chat room says he felt it out in Harriman, and it was a sonic boom. Okay. So, Maverick!
And that's about it, except there's a brewery making beer with Cadbury cream eggs.
Yeah.
Goose Island, the UK's, they're making a beer called Golden Goo Beerly Ice Cream Stout.
Ugh.
It sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Too sweet.
Yeah,
British.
It doesn't sound...
It's a British brewery, so
it doesn't sound right. Yeah. Well, if it's British brewery, that means that it's real chocolate. So.
Well, yeah. All right, that's it.
All right. Weather, traffic.
Wow, spring today. Very springy. Sunny and 60 for a high today. Now, tonight into tomorrow, there's a chance of some rain. It says rain/snow. I don't think the snow is going to happen. But rain/snow overnight tonight. Tomorrow, high of 55. And by Saturday, it looks like we could be up to 63. Now, next week, it's supposed to cool down again. So we're in that up and down pattern. We're going to just stay up in the 60s. But nice springy weather this week. Traffic, we've got a crash eastbound I-215 south at milepost 13, 1300 west in Murray. It is off to the left shoulder. And a crash northbound I-15 just prior to 200 north in Kaysville. Looks like both left and right shoulders are being affected by that accident. And what do you see? So far, so good, I think. Nothing being reported there by you, but if you want to report something, you can always text it to us, 33986.
All right, we've got boner candidate number 3. I'm going to do it right now, but I want to wish my friend Kari a happy birthday today, because I bet she's listening right now. Happy birthday, Kari. And now, here's boner candidate number 3. The shaman is an artist and a work in progress. Now, when I say the shaman, you probably...
The QAnon shaman?
Yep.
Okay.
Jacob Chansley, the horned, helmet-wearing, American flag-painted face QAnon shaman, stated some interesting things during court documents during his pretrial motions. When he found out, now you guys all know who I'm talking about,
sure.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. When he found out that Lil Wayne and other friends and colleagues of Donald Trump had received pardons, it has made him reconsider his allegiance to Donald Trump. His attorneys have filed a whole bunch of stuff, but among them, following the cessation of term of Donald Trump as president, the defendant, Mr. Chansley, noted former President Trump's pardoning of his friends and colleagues and Lil Wayne. The defendant was compelled to reconcile his prior faith in Donald Trump with the actions and words of former President Trump, read the court document. The court document goes on to say, additionally, Mr. Chansley is an artist, and it's a calling that he desires to continue as part of his self-sustaining lifestyle.
What?
Copies and images of art created by Mr. Chansley are attached to this document. Mr. Chansley says his whole life's work now is self-analyzing and improving himself, becoming a better person.
Okay. Well,
Please let him go. Please
just
let him go.
Oh, let him go.
Oh,
because he promised he's going to do better.
I
now.
see.
Does
that work for other terrorists?
He's renounced Trump.
Anybody at Gitmo going to get out because they're going to be an artist?
He's renounced Trump. He's doing his art, and he's working on improving himself. Let's let him go.
Sure.
Boner candidate number 3. The shaman is an artist and a work in progress.
All right, there you go. Let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. She stole my goat and painted it. An Alabama woman doing just that, stealing a pet goat and painting it. Boner candidate number 2. Can a vaccine be morally compromised? Well, the Catholic Archdiocese in New Orleans says to Catholics, don't take that Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It's got aborted fetuses in it.
No, it does.
And boner candidate number 3, the shaman is an artist and a work in progress.
Okay. Don't forget, Dr. Cobble will be here. So we're going to do voting now, but as soon as the voting is over, that's when you can start calling for Dr. Cobble, so be ready. Right now it is time to vote for round 1 of your boners. Here we go. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win this round. Put that single digit in the message of a text, and then you text that to 33986. Or you can call. Here's the phone number, 877-602-9696. Remember, save that number for Dr. Cobble as well, but you're voting for round 1. You can also vote for boners online at x96.com. Look for your box that says Boner Voting March 3, 2021, and vote there. Now remember, this is not the boner of the day. This is round 1. We got round 2 at 8:20. We'll do this again, get another champion there. Send both champions forward to Boner Fight, and you will decide boner of the day at 9:20 this morning. That's when it all goes down. Right now, this is round 1 of your boners, and then Dr. Cobble, so be ready, okay? It is X96. All right, it's BigOTires.com.
You go to that website, BigOTires.com, and they are the team you trust. There is no doubt about it. Right now, you can save up to $150 on Nitto, Toyo, or Pirelli tires at Big O Tires, and that's through April 4th. Go to BigOTires.com, find your local Big O store, and they'll get to know you and your car. I go to the one on 2nd East and South Temple, and whenever I go in there, which, I mean, fortunately it's not that often, but when I do have to go in, it's always, hey, Bill, how's it going? Which car did you bring in? And how can we help you? They do lots of stuff at Big O Tires, too, like oil changes and alignments and wiper blades and all of that.
Oh,
and
the wiper blades, yes.
Yes, they do. They have really cool wiper blades.
Yeah.
So if you go to the Big O Tire store, you will. They have the lowest price on every tire every day, too. That's amazing. So they are the team you trust. Go to BigOTires.com.
Enjoying a delicious piece of German chocolate cake pie.
Exactly.
That's kind of weird, Travis. This is Travis the Pieman here.
Hi, everybody.
German chocolate cake pie.
Exactly.
We have an official pieman for the Radio from Hell show.
Gina, by the way, I brought you your pie.
Oh!
It's a pie in a box.
It's the McDonald's.
Baked
it's the pie that she will eat.
We know she'll eat that.
You're missing out.
It's the one thing I have in common with Donald Trump.
You're missing out. This is delicious.
It's delicious. It really is, Travis.
And also, Gina, since I couldn't get you pie, I got you something else.
What? Well, you got me pie right there.
See, Travis has got an...
Did he?
Yeah. Travis has been making stickers.
Remain seated podcast stickers.
Got the graphic offline. Was able to kind of jury rig a setup for it. So you've got some for the computer, for the laptop, for your car, whatever you want to do.
I love it. Thank you.
Travis, is it an Etsy store? Or
it's an Etsy store called Pieman Graphics, or if you search Pieman Graphics on Twitter, it now pulls up links that'll take you right where you need to go.
You know, Gina, those stickers have beard hair in them.
Do they?
Yeah, probably.
That's okay. I'm not going to eat them.
I try to pick them out, but picking out the beard hair makes it artisanal.
This pie has beard hair in it, and it's delicious. It's just delicious.
Well, my boys helped me with this one, and, the 11-year-olds.
Yeah, Travis sells stickers on his Etsy site.
That's awesome.
He's been selling Geek Show stickers.
Now, Travis, you it's Pi Day,
right?
What do you know about the mathematical symbol of pi? Anything?
It's the magical number that lets you calculate many things in geometry. The time that they actually celebrate it today, or at least the big math geeks celebrate it today, is today at 1:59 p.m. because then you get 3.14159, which are the first numbers of pi.
Wow!
I know. It's really you can get really geeky on this.
So there's going to be math geeks at the bar at that time.
At that exact time, they'll all raise a glass and they'll be good. Woo! And and there's little math things they come up with too, where they say that since there's 360 degrees in a circle, if you go to the 359th position of pi, there's 360 right there.
If I understood math better, apparently it is this magical thing that you can calculate all kinds of things.
It's an exact proportion that they figure is like a magic number throughout the universe. It helps things work. But we kind of adopted it too, is instead of just being pi as in the number, it's pi as in pie. Also, pizza today is big. I think Pie Pizzeria usually does some kind of special thing, or all the other pizza chains will do something special. I don't recognize the National Pie Day that they had back in January. Or February.
We tried to call you out on that day, and
it's just like Valentine's Day. It's a setup day where big pastry comes out and wants to sell pie.
Big pastry.
Big pastry. They tried to co-opt it.
Exactly.
Right.
There's only two pie holidays that I celebrate, and that is Pie Day and Pie and Beer Day on the 24th.
Yes.
Because nothing's better than a fresh raspberry pie and a Pilsner.
Now, Travis, I know you also have you lost your job some time ago. I don't know what you weren't fired, but it was a.
It's I'm no longer employed.
Yeah.
And so right now I'm looking for anything that's either integration or
What is integration?
I do a lot of software.
Okay.
And basically it's taking large groups of software pieces or hardware pieces and putting it together for major companies.
Okay.
So I do integrations, implementation, support. So
if anybody has something like that and wants an employee that can bring pie on potluck day,
exactly, lots of pie.
That's
he's a great pie maker, and he knows how to do big software jobs. Travis, how do they get a hold of you?
They can just email me at travislynnjohnson@gmail.com.
Okay.
And Raul down on the border, send us in the chat room a picture of one of your Trump stickers on his computer, I think.
Yeah, I have a copy of the balloon Trump. The big balloon that they were
the
running
big
around
fat,
England, and they brought it over to Los Angeles and into New Jersey. Yeah, I sell those on the site too.
Pie Man Graphics.
Well,
All right.
thanks. I just devoured the pie. One slice is enough. It's very sweet, but man, it's delicious. Thank you, Travis.
No problem at all. Have a good one.
Have a good pie day.
You too.
All right, 7:45. Okay, we've taken your votes for Boner. We've got them all tabulated. The phone lines are now being reset and opened for your questions for Dr. Cobble. 877-602-9696. Now would be the time to call. Get in line to talk to Dr. Cobble. Ask him questions. Yes, a doctor, not your uncle's Facebook page.
Not the Catholic Diocese of New Orleans.
Yes.
No. All right.
Do your own research.
But time now to award your Boner.
Let's do that, and then we'll get to Dr. Cobble. All right.
Yes.
This morning's Boner is brought to you in part by Thai lentil soup.
And the key to good sex is good communication. Unlock your best pleasure at Black Velvet Boutique, Utah's locally owned by women sexual wellness resource, open 7 days a week, 595 South State in Clearfield, and online at blackvelvetboutique.com.
Boner candidate number 1, she stole my goat and painted it. I thought that was a great candidate. I thought it would get lots of votes.
Yeah.
It did not. Did not. Boner candidate number 2, can a vaccine be morally compromised? Well, that's what the Catholic Diocese, and if you want to argue with the Catholic Church, Gina, that's fine. They say don't take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It's got aborted fetus cells in it.
It doesn't.
And then boner candidate number 3, the shaman is an artist and a work in progress. I thought that had a pretty good chance of winning. Maybe I didn't explain it well enough. Because it came in second. The winner was boner candidate number 2, can a vaccine be morally compromised?
There you go. That's the winner of round 1. It secures a spot in Boner Dome. It might be Boner of the Day. Find out at 9:20 when it goes up against the winner of round 2's voting. Oh, yeah, that's coming up at 8:20. We'll have 3 more candidates, get another winner there, and then we'll send them both to Boner Fight at 9:20. That's when you'll decide Boner of the Day. Is this sponsored? No?
Just jump right in.
Okay.
It's time to talk to Dr. Michael Cobble. Ask him questions if you would like about coronavirus vaccines, about the coronavirus itself. Dr. Cobble, are you there?
Yes, good morning. Thank you.
Hi. Good morning. 877-602-9696 is the number to call and ask Dr. Cobble questions. I don't know if anybody's called in yet with a question.
We have one, but if you'd like to get started, go ahead.
I heard, okay, let's just lay that to rest, the thing that we just talked about in the boner candidates. The Catholic Diocese in New Orleans saying that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is derived from some aborted fetus cells. Can you lay that to rest and talk about that, Dr. Cobble?
Well, I'd have to talk to the Johnson & Johnson folks, but they've said that they've used the highest bioethical standards and guidelines for production of vaccine. There's some debate that vaccine production and other medical production is based on fetal cell lines. I think it's the biggest, wackiest, hokiest thing around, but if someone wants to use it as an excuse not to have people get their vaccine, I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
Sad.
Yeah. Sad is probably the best way to put it.
It really is.
It's just sad. Anyway, let's go to questions on the phone. Who we got?
877-602-9696 if you'd like to speak to an actual doctor about all of this craziness. Dave is on the phone. Hello,
Hey, Dave. What's your question?
Hi, guys, and hi, Dr. Cobble. My question, kind of comment is, so I've spoken to a lot of people, and a lot of them are dead set on, oh yeah, I'm only going to do the Johnson & Johnson. That is what I've been waiting for. And I realize that it's a one-shot vaccine, but it's only like 60% effective, and I'm just wondering if there's any thoughts of why people would be set to get, I mean, I know getting something is better than nothing, but why be all set getting something that's 60% instead of like 95%, I guess?
Well, I think there's some things that are appealing about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It can be administered in a refrigerated setting, so it doesn't have to be the deep freeze setting, so it's easier access.
Okay.
It seems to be easier to produce.
Why don't you hang up and listen on the radio,
Dave,
okay?
Yeah, hang up and listen on the radio. You'll be able to hear, okay? All right, go ahead, Dave.
So anyway, the Johnson & Johnson, and he was talking about the they say it's 60% effective and not, and we talked about this last week, but go ahead and explain all that again, if you would.
Yeah, so the single vaccine, and they are studying it as a dual vaccine also, but currently as approved, the single vaccine gives 60-65% immunity with the single shot Johnson & Johnson, but it gives 85% immunity for serious life-threatening or hospitalized events, and that's almost as good as Moderna and Pfizer that showed 95% after the second vaccine. So I think its results are very similar, and I think it's just very exciting that it's available. And they say they have 100 million vaccines they can roll out, which is awesome. It's amazing.
And a lot of people are appealing to that Johnson & Johnson vaccine because of their fear of needles. This is only one shot, and whatever works,
You should just, whatever the first vaccine that's offered to you that you have the ability to get, take it. Don't be picky and say, well, I know I could get Johnson & Johnson today, but I'm holding out for the, just get whatever you can get.
Just make sure that it's offered to you by somebody who's qualified
not
to
in
do
a
it.
not in a parking lot.
Hey!
Behind yeah.
And a quick question, because I've seen this come up quite a lot. Is it best to get the same vaccine for both shots if you're doing the Moderna or the Pfizer one? I would think you'd want to go with the same cocktail, right?
Yeah, the way it was studied is you had to follow up with the exact same. Don't get your vaccine on Craigslist. No. And don't do the gin raisin vaccine that Bill has been doing for the last week.
Hey, this is excellent, and I know this comes in via text from Gabe, who's 11, but I bet there are people a lot older than 11 that don't know the answer to this question, Gabe. Can Dr. Cobble explain how vaccines work?
Oh, my gosh, that would be a very long, detailed explanation, but basically, the vaccines try to introduce part of the virus, most of the time a protein aspect on the outer part of the virus, and it tries to stimulate the body's own immune system to recognize that's a foreign body, in this case, the spike 2 protein. It's a foreign body, it's bad. Make your immune system respond to it so it can clear it out, just like the garbage truck coming by every week to pick up the garbage on the side of the road. So that's recognized as bad. It's garbage. It shouldn't be there. Mm-hmm. The body recognizes it through the vaccine response, immune response, through what we call B cells or T cells, and that it attacks it and removes it so it can't hurt your body and result in hospitalization or death.
So it's kind of training them to do that, right?
Yeah, it's training your own immune system to recognize that this could be something bad, but what the vaccine is giving you is not bad. It's just a part of the virus that it recognizes, and it will respond to it to remove it quickly before it kills you.
All right. Let's see. We've got a full bank of phones. Let's go to Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Go ahead.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, Mike.
All right. So I was just wondering if there has been an upswing in the instances of like MRSA or other medically resistant bacteria and infections because of all the hand sanitizing, all the other stuff that's being killed. Some of the tougher ones are sticking around.
Yeah, there was some fear about that early, but we haven't seen that. There have been no reports of that. One thing I can tell you is I haven't seen any flu at all this year, just because people have been trying to avoid one another and wear their masks and avoid, close proximity. With that being said, it really still shows how much more dangerous COVID is, 20 to 40 times more deadly than the flu and 3 times more contagious. It just, because, we're still seeing thousands of Americans die every day from COVID.
Yep. All right,
Mike, that's the solution to the flu as well, is every year we just go into hibernation for a few months and not see.
I'm fine with that.
I'm good with that. That's good.
Yeah, every year we do that.
Like Puxatawny Phil.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm continuing with the masks and the hand washing and the distancing where I can. Even after I get the shots and we're back to normal, I'm going to continue it.
Yep, me too.
Let's see, 7:55. Let's take a break. We do have a line open for Dr. Cobble, 877-602-9696. Call in and ask a doctor a question about
Can I do a quick check of traffic,
Yes, traffic, please. Go ahead.
And you need to help me with this one also. Crash eastbound I-215 south at 1300 West in Murray. It is off to the left shoulder. We also have a crash northbound I-15 just prior to 200 North in Kaysville in Davis County. Both left and right shoulders are being affected there. And if you see something, you can text it to us, 33986.
Traffic brought to you by Scott Hale. The spring thaw means great deals at Scott Hale. Give your furnace a tune-up for just $30. Call Scott Hale, 801-264-HALE. All right, we will take a break. 877-602-9696 to talk to Dr. Cobble about COVID. All of that. Stand by. Hoops Vision Correction, HOOPES vision.com.
If you wear glasses or contact lenses, do what Carrie has done, I've done, many of our family members have done, and that is contact Hoops Vision. 877-30-LASIK is the number you call for your free, no-obligation appointment. Now, you your appointment will be to determine if you're a good candidate for LASIK, and most people are these days. The procedures have gotten so sophisticated. And then if you are a good candidate, they'll talk to you about when they might be able to perform this. And what's great about it right now is you can get $800 off a LASIK procedure at Hoops Vision. No hidden fees, nothing like that. $800 off, just straight out. So, and don't be afraid of it. Be positive. This is a great thing that you can do for yourself and get rid of your glasses or your contact lenses. So call 877-30-LASIK. That's LASIK. 877-30-LASIK, or make your appointment at hoopsvision.com.
All right, we're going to wrap things up with Ask a CG Artist here real quick. I'm going to put you on the spot. You say you had a friend who's worked on the Thor movie.
He is, by the way, John Patrick Rooney, who is a CG artist, works out of L.A., but here to visit family.
Yep.
And your friend did the animation of the Destroyer.
More so modeling and texturing, not
the animation.
The animation of it.
But he helped build the character. The Destroyer is
exactly.
like this
In
giant...
what movie
in
is it?
Thor.
Oh.
He's like this giant killer robot.
Just coming out this summer.
That destroys a town.
He also did, it's my roommate, and he did the hammer for Thor that you see at the end of Iron Man and in this one as well.
Do you guys have girlfriends?
Sometimes.
Listen, with all the dough they're pulling down?
No, I asked because, you know, they
or
are
boyfriends.
Or boyfriends.
No,
I
no
don't
boyfriends.
Listen,
they're on the computer.
You
all
take a girl.
day.
You take a girl to Iron Man 2, and you say, "Wait till the end. Wait till the end." And when that hammer shows up, you say, "I did that." You're in.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying it sounds like they are chained to a computer a lot of the time.
I have to say, I've had one relationship go south because I was working.
That's all I'm
insane
saying.
hours. It was a good Ogden girl too, living in L.A.
A good Ogden girl?
Good. I know.
There's no such thing.
In a good in a bad way.
Yeah,
right.
Bad in a good
bad
way.
in a good way. That's Ogden.
Good Ogden girl. Let's see. A quick software question from Nick. Let's see. Go ahead, Nick.
Thanks for letting me listen.
Yeah.
Maya, I guess, is the standard. How does 3D Max compare?
3D Max is a standard for a lot of things, a lot of car commercials and things like that, and video games use 3D Max, but more and more Maya is becoming more of a standard. I hate modeling in 3D Max. It drives me nuts.
Now, you were saying that if I were just to buy the Maya program, it was how much again?
I'm not sure, but it's like over 1,000.
Over 1,000?
Almost
1,000.
4,000.
Yeah.
Almost what?
4,000.
Almost 4,000.
Well, 3,999.
That's almost
close. Yeah.
Almost.
You know, it sounds to me like if this is what you're gonna do, it might be worth it to invest in that.
Yeah.
All right.
You can use those programs if you go to a school. They have them available.
This is true, and I know even up at the U they have those programs available. And it's all part of your fees. So.
Here's a question. Without getting too political, how is your health insurance as an independent contractor?
It's a bottle of Advil.
Somebody wants to know, where's my holodeck?
Yeah, that was my next question. Where's my damn holodeck?
Yeah, I'm working on it. So,
all right.
Any requests?
And here's the final question, which I think is the best one. This is: do you have to be good at math?
No, you don't.
Perfect.
But sometimes I've used some trigonometry and
don't
scripts
you need that
and
for,
things like
for
that.
Architecture, don't you?
Yeah, sort of.
Trigonometry.
If people want to see some of the stuff, is there a place that people can go? Do you have a website where they can see your demo?
I have my demo reel on Vimeo, but it's just you can go ahead and email me at johnpatrickrooney@gmail.com, and I will send you an email with some info.
John Patrick Rooney, Irish?
Yes.
Oh. Irish question mark?
John Patrick Rooney at gmail.com.
St. Patrick's Day Parade Saturday, you know.
All right, I'll stop by.
All right.
All right, we're back with Dr. Cobble to answer questions about coronavirus and vaccines and all of that stuff. And we have some people on the phone. I believe there's a line open, though, if you want to get in. 877-602-9696.
Yes, we have Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Hi there. How are
Hey.
you guys doing this morning?
Good. What's your question?
My question is, I've had COVID-19, and as well as my family. I've heard that when you have it, you have a certain amount of time where you are unable to get the virus again, or it's at least a lot harder to get it, as well as it wouldn't be as bad if you did get it a second time. I'm just curious as to what your opinion is on that, and how long of a time frame would you give that?
Well, that's a great question. It's complicated and difficult at the same time. I've had people asking if I recently caught COVID, can I get the vaccine? So I'm going to answer that part outside of your question. Yes, once you're asymptomatic and you're out of quarantine, you can get the vaccine if you have recently caught COVID. I have seen people catch COVID 6 or 8 weeks later after their first episode, and it was just as bad as the first one. So I would not assume that you have an antibody response without a vaccine. I would not assume that you have an antibody response that will prevent the next infection. With that being said, once you do catch the infection, you do have an antibody response. We just don't know if everybody develops that. So I think the important thing is that if you have opportunity to get a vaccine in the upcoming future, do that to get the extra protection. I've had people walking around saying, I've got the golden ticket, I had COVID, it was the best 2 weeks of my life, I didn't have to go to work, I got to sleep every day, there were no challenges. And then the other 10% of people end up in the hospital, and 2 or 3% of them die. So I think the bad part about it is those people that have had it pretty mildly don't think it's very serious. But I had a patient yesterday who had a family member that just died from it, and it's just it's heartbreaking to hear those stories and see the depression and the challenges that they go through when someone they love caught this and unfortunately didn't survive it. So I think to answer your question, you probably have a great degree of immunity. You sound like you're young and healthy, but I would go ahead and get the vaccine when that opportunity comes forward for you.
Okay.
Sounds like you're breathing okay too, Sean. Thank you.
See you later.
Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Bye, Sean.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
877-602-9696.
I was just going to say to our phone people, you can turn down the phone caller after they ask their question, so that we don't hear them going.
No,
we
can't.
will still hear it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the listeners won't, but we will still hear it. All right, let's go to...
I think that was me heavy breathing. I think I was doing that.
You were talking at the same time, though. Tanya.
I know, I can do both.
Oh, you can? All right, that's very good.
Who we got?
Tanya, let's talk to Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi, guys. Yeah, thanks for letting me listen. So if one Johnson & Johnson immunization is, 75% effective, without crowding into line and stealing somebody else's shot, what if you got two?
Oh, 2 Johnson & Johnson shots. Huh.
Right.
Yeah, they're doing that study. We don't have that data yet, but Johnson & Johnson is doing dual vaccine studies. So I don't have an answer for you yet. We will see that this year. I don't know if it'll be in 2 months or 3 months or 4, but it's a great question, and that's something they've already thought of. And again, the single vaccine, 60 to 72% effective, but 85% effective versus life-threatening disease.
Yeah.
So it's an awesome vaccine. Whichever vaccine you can get, take it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's unprecedented. I think Gina was mentioning this earlier that Johnson & Johnson and then the Merck company, the pharmaceutical company, has said, hey, give us the formula. We'll be happy to make as much of it as we can. That's pretty unusual, isn't it, Dr. Cobble?
Well, I think, Merck discontinued their vaccine discovery on this 2 or 3 months ago. So they have the capacity. Merck has large vaccine production facilities, so they have the capacity. And I think it's fantastic. It's great that these large companies are collaborating for the pandemic and something that is, you brought up the thing about Texas. It's the number 2 state in the U.S. for deaths. 44,000 Americans have died in Texas in the last year. from COVID, still over 200 a day. If we had that many people driving on our roads, there would be a great outpouring that we need more public safety. Yet they're withdrawing the mask mandate, and they're saying, well, it's personal, it's your own personal choice. And it's like, okay, well, they obviously haven't been making a good choice for the last year.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Cheyenne is on the phone. Let's go to Cheyenne.
Hi, Cheyenne. Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Hi, go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, so I have a question about getting tested. Saturday I woke up with what I'm pretty sure was a common cold. I get it, regularly, probably once a year. Wet cough, stuffy runny nose, sneezing. And I kind of looked up the CDC guidelines and common COVID symptoms, which I don't have any of those: shortness of breath, fever, loss of taste or smell. So I'm wondering, my overall question is, should you just get tested anytime you feel sick, or when should you get tested?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been doing that. If they have cold symptoms or feel kind of sick, they are getting tested if they have to circulate in the community. So they don't want to expose someone else to it. I think for you, if you can home quarantine and you become asymptomatic from this virus that you have, you don't know what virus it is, but I think the biggest risk for catching COVID is a positive contact. So if you have a coworker, a family member, a child that has tested positive for COVID, then you're 4 times more likely to have it yourself. You may not have symptoms. The most contagious time period is 2 days before you develop symptoms, 5 days through the symptoms. So that week, 2 days prior to you getting symptoms, and 5 days of symptoms. A lot of people spreading this they don't know, they don't have the symptoms currently. They've had 2, 3, 4 days where they've been asymptomatic and they were exposed to somebody, a friend, family member, coworker, that gave it to them, and then they spread it for another 3 or 4 days, and then they develop symptoms. So what I typically see is a patient will say, I went to dinner with a friend, my friend was coughing at the dinner table, 3 days later I couldn't smell, and then 4 days later, 5 days after that, I couldn't taste the wine I'd opened, and then the next day I had a cough. So here they were, asymptomatic or mild symptoms, nothing real exciting like the fever and the congestion and the headache. So again, I think you have to determine the risk of your environment. If you've been avoiding everybody and everyone's low risk that you're around, what you're describing is probably just the common cold. But I think that if you're going to go to work, the key point is if you have cold symptoms of any kind, don't go to work, don't send your kids to work, don't be around anyone else.
Yeah.
But again, the most dangerous time period is that 2 or 3 days where you may not have symptoms and you've spread it to 10 or 15 other people during that 2 or 3 day period, and those people spread it to another 100 people, and it's like the Sturgis motorcycle festival. 500,000 people spread it everywhere. South Dakota, North Dakota, and then it went everywhere.
Yeah.
Weddings, funerals. Unfortunately, it's just getting into groups of more than 4 people is really scary.
It's difficult to not be paranoid about it, though. To not be, the minute you feel a little bit of stuffiness in your nose or something, going, well, that's it. I got COVID. I know I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for calling, Cheyenne.
Thank you. And
thank you.
Joseph, we're out of time.
Thank you.
Terribly sorry.
Dr. Cobble, thank you once again for taking some time with us. We always really do greatly appreciate your expertise and your approach to these questions, and we'll talk to you again soon, I hope.
Yeah, I love that you're educating everyone and people are being conscious of trying to be safe for themselves and others, so thanks so much.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Traffic, Gina, please.
Yeah, only one accident to tell you about. It's a crash southbound I-15 milepost 277 in American Fork, and that's it. I have no bad news traffic-wise. Maybe you see some bad news. You want to share your bad news, and then I'll pass it along. Then I'll be the bearer of bad news, and people will hate me.
Don't blame the bearer.
33986.
All right, bonus round 2 coming up. These are some great candidates. Boner candidate number 1, sitting on a dead horse. Number 2, Lion Ted Cruz. And number 3, Admiral Jackson.
Oh, all right. Boners round 2 coming up, along with Big Boy News and Opinioendo after these. And now a message from the Utah Department of Workforce Services. There are jobs available.
Oh, indeed there are. Jobs.utah.gov is where you go today and register for the virtual job fair that's going to be tomorrow. But you have to register ahead of time, jobs.utah.gov, and then you can be a part of the virtual job fair tomorrow. I think it's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and there are lots of great jobs available, right, Gina?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be in an industry you have experience in or where you work. You can change your whole career path, and even if you don't have education or training in it, you can get paid in many instances for the training you need for these new jobs.
So go to jobs.utah.gov, register, create an account, sign on to your My Job Search account, and that will lead you to the job fair tomorrow. And it's set up like virtual booths, and you can actually chat with employers. So go to jobs.utah.gov.
All right.
It's time for Radio from Hell corrections. We correct things that we get wrong, or we like to call this feature Excuse me.
Excuse me.
If you go to x96.com/live, you can see Comic Book Guy saying, excuse me, but I don't think that's the case.
I'm here to make the proper corrections.
All right.
God forbid you go throughout life not knowing the right.
Correction number 1 I have. Earlier in the show, we were talking about traveling in Switzerland and Austria, and Carrie was talking about Lake Luzerne in Switzerland and how lovely that was. And I said, remember when we went to Austria and we were having fondue, and I think I may have said that Austria is the home of fondue. Excuse me, my ears are hurting. Switzerland is home to fondue, not Austria.
They're right next door to each other.
If you had fondue in Innsbruck, it's no wonder it didn't go well. Austria is meat and potatoes, not fondue. Excuse me. So thank you for the correction. Switzerland, home of fondue. Okay.
Well, we have another correction.
Yes.
Country correction.
Ooh.
This is another excuse me for Bill. A few moments ago, we were talking about President Trump flying to Scotland.
Yeah.
And Bill said, well, Scotland isn't part of the UK anymore because of Brexit. It most certainly is still a part of the UK. The UK now consists of England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. That's the UK now, post-Brexit.
But it's still part of the EU, right?
No.
Scotland?
I'm not going to say.
Scotland's not a part of the EU? I think it is,
I don't
isn't
know.
it? And that was part of the deal, was that they had the border in Scotland, and there was part of the contention?
That's what I thought, too.
Well, you were saying Scotland is not part of... Well, now we have to do...
Listen, if this was about the Silver Surfer's real name, I could weigh in.
The people of Scotland voted decisively to remain with the European Union in 2016. The Scottish government was the first administration in the UK to set out a substantive policy response to Brexit in 2016. They have said, we are a part of the European Union.
All right.
So they're not?
Ireland is part of the EU, not Scotland. Scotland is talking about leaving the UK, as they always have.
Well, they voted to stay with the European Union in 2016. So on December 24, 2020, UK government and the EU announced agreement on core elements of the future. Scottish government has conducted initial analysis agreements, their implications for Scotland. The assessment confirms the Scottish government's long-standing view that Scotland will be worse off outside of the European Union, so they are going to remain with the European Union, which means essentially they're not part of the UK, right? Scottish ministers have consistently highlighted that the UK government failed to engage meaningful with the Scottish government on Brexit. The Scottish government...
EU countries are Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, and Sweden, not Scotland. Scotland is still part of the
UK. All right.
It's confusing.
And the Silver Surfer's real name is Norin Rad. Excuse me.
All right.
Was there some question?
Listen, I don't know from Ireland or Scotland. I don't know. All right. But I can help you with this.
All right.
Okay, 8:19 right now. And it is time for round 2 of your boner voting. Here we go. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote. Of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one do you think should go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day? Winner of the first round, pretty good candidate. I'll say that right now. So you need to pick strategically. Pick a strong candidate here in the second round to make it a competitive boner fight at 9:20, because that's when we'll decide boner of the day for real. Right now, this is a champion of round 2 to go forward against the champion of round 1. Boner fight happens at 9:20. That's when you'll decide. Right now, round 2. Pick one of these 3 to go forward. 2 candidates now. A third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, you'll vote, and one of you lucky random boner voters will receive.
And no details yet, but we are in discussion to at least temporarily open up the office so you can pick up your fabulously roomy and helpful Radio from Hell tote bag.
Here's boner candidate number 1. Sitting on a dead horse. Literally. So when I read this story, there were not really any pictures accompanying it. And most of the accounts I read of it, they I think wisely, they didn't provide photos. But there are photos available of this. Mm-hmm. When I finally saw one, and it's weird. Irish horse racing trainer Gordon Elliott. He's apparently very famous in the horse racing industry or sporting events in the United Kingdom. Has been, it says here temporarily, but I think I read somewhere else he's been like just banned completely from competition, horse racing competition in Great Britain, until an investigation in Ireland that is looking into a photo that surfaced on social media of him sitting on a dead horse, talking on his cell phone. The Irish Horse Racing Regulatory Board will hold a referential hearing this week to hear evidence in the case, but the Horse Racing Authority announced that it is banning Elliott from competition in Britain pending the outcome of the investigation. The British Horse Racing Authority will not allow him or any of his horses, and apparently he's very successful and very well known in racing circles. But he's now commented and said one stupid thing that I did, mistake, and it's probably ruined my career forever. And it is it's a horse. Now I don't know why the horse is dead, what happened to it, but it's lying.
Doesn't matter what.
It's lying, prone, dead, tongue hanging out, and he's sitting on it, talking on his phone and making a peace sign at the camera.
Yeah, that's not.
It's like, what? You have no respect for the animals that you work with?
Because it's not just this instance. If he's the sort of person that thinks that's funny, that means there's other things that the camera hasn't captured where he's being...
Here's what he said about it.
Okay.
I was standing over the horse, waiting to help with the removal of the body, in the course of which, to my memory, I received a phone call. And without thinking, I sat down on the horse. I needed a place to sit down, take the phone call. I sat down on the horse. Hearing a shout from one of my team, I gestured to wait until I was finished. He went on to say that the welfare of each and every horse under my care is paramount and has been central to the success that I have experienced. I would accept that. I would accept that. I can understand that that happened. It's still not something that should have happened.
No.
That he unthinkingly sat down on the horse and took the phone call.
Yeah, I mean, I need a place to sit down. A dead horse is not the first answer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Boner candidate number 1, sitting on a dead horse. Just a weird story, too.
Yeah.
Boner candidate number 2, you know what I call him? I call him Lion Ted Cruz. And you know why? Because it's true.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I agree with Donald Trump about. One of the only, maybe the only thing that I agree with him about is that Ted Cruz is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Senator Ted Cruz voted with many of his Republican colleagues on the Senate Judiciary Committee against confirming Judge Merrick Garland to be the next Attorney General. And he did so in a speech designed for the Fox News and the OANN cameras. And in short, most of Cruz's claims, he gives this speech, and it's all lies.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting there, in the committee room with his colleagues. He said, not only did Judge Garland refuse to answer questions at the hearing, not only did he refuse to answer questions for the record, but Judge Garland is also one of the few Biden cabinet nominees refusing to take in-person meetings with senators, categorically refusing to take in-person meetings. Multiple other Biden nominees are taking them. None of this is true.
Doesn't
Merrick
matter.
Garland,
You can just say it on TV, and that makes it true.
Merrick Garland did say and said, I'd be happy to meet with any senator. I would prefer to do it remotely, Zoom meetings. Yeah. That's fine. He didn't answer any questions. That's not the case either. He answered questions in the committee hearing, but they gave him a list of 180 questions, and he answered them all in writing. It's Ted Cruz lying and lying and lying.
It's what he does.
Boner candidate number 2. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3, Admiral Jackson.
All right. Boner's candidate number 3 for round 2 coming up after this. Big Boy News and Opinnuendo brought to you by...
Enjoy exhibits and films at Clark Planetarium, now open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Reserve your tickets at clarkplanetarium.org to enjoy an experience that will leave you in awe. Reservations are required.
As Page 6 reported, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, Alec and Hilaria Baldwin are keeping quiet on the details surrounding the birth of baby number 6, though many assume that the couple used a surrogate or adopted, as 37-year-old Hilaria gave birth to their 6th child, Edu, in September. A fan took to comments section of the former 30 Rock star's photo post and asked Alec to provide an explanation. Otherwise, it appears that they are begging for clickbait. I think I'm siding with Alec Baldwin on this. He said to the fan, "None of your business. Shut the F up."
Yeah.
He's right. It is none of... Who's the mother? The fan asked. She wasn't pregnant. She gave birth 6 months ago. Is it? If it was a surrogate, just say this is none of anybody's business but Alec and Hilaria Baldwin's. It's interesting to speculate.
Yeah, I mean, somebody else birthed that child, but does it matter who? No.
No. I'm going to mention this because it's also a reminder that coming up we have Beat Gina.
Yes.
And it's Superman and Lois trivia. And I just saw this, and we'll just mention it in passing. The CW is where you can see Superman and Lois, and they've already renewed it for a second season. It's performed very well right out of the box.
They announced that before even their second episode aired. Yeah. They said, "Yep, we're going to do it."
Does marijuana help the sick recover from coronavirus? Dude.
Yes.
Of course it does. Dude.
What doesn't it help?
Of course. The Ogden police have detained a person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of a convenience store owner late Sunday night in Ogden. The individual has not been identified publicly. Police say that 65-year-old Satnam Singh was shot and killed inside Super Grocery at 675 North Monroe Boulevard. It was a small, grocery store, convenience store that he owned. No further information is being released at this time to allow for a thorough and complete investigation that is focused on ensuring justice for Mr. Singh and his family. The Ogden Police Department appreciates the assistance of the community, and apparently somebody knew who did it and turned him in. Called the cops and said, "I know who killed." And this Mr. Singh was apparently a very well-known and beloved person in that part of Ogden. He ran that convenience store, and the police were at a loss at first. They just found him dead in his store. The department is still asking for some tips, just so that they can help build their case against the individual who shot Mr. Singh. Representative Sandra Hollins here in Utah has dropped her resolution, which would have declared racism a public health crisis in Utah. Now, it's not a law. It was just a resolution. Be it resolved. The Utah State Legislature recognizes that racism is a public health problem in Utah. Well, the legislature didn't like that. With only a few days left in the session, she said her House colleagues still had questions about the practical policy implications of House Joint Resolution 13.
Okay, it's as good as your pornography resolution. How about that?
But you call it a racism a public health crisis. I mean, I can see where diseases are.
Again, you declared pornography a public health crisis.
Well, yeah, but if I had like a COVID, now I can see that's a public health crisis.
Pornography, you declared.
Racism
is a problem.
Yeah, so they won't deal with it. It was a terrible highway crash in California. 13 people dead, some ejected from an SUV carrying 25 people. So it was just jam-packed with folks. This SUV, there was a crash between the SUV and the big rig in Southern California. It was a Ford Expedition SUV, and 25 people.
That's just a lot.
Yeah, many of the passengers were ejected into the road, the highway patrol said, adding there were not enough seatbelts for 25 people. Who were they all and all of that? There is some speculation that we won't go into at this point. And Gina, eating meat has apparently been linked to a wide range of illnesses.
So?
I'm just eating meat regularly
does
could
other
carry
things.
Eating meat regularly could carry a higher risk of wide-range common illnesses. Previous studies have linked red and processed meats like bacon and sausage to several diseases like bowel cancer, and a new study examined the relationship between meat consumption in general and 25 common illnesses other than cancer.
Here, Bill, see how this feels. Alcohol's been related to a lot of different diseases and illnesses, and alcohol. You really should see what I mean. See how it feels? That's how it feels. You come at me with meat, I come at you with alcohol. That's where that goes.
Okay, I'm backing off. You're right. I'm backing off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Looks like Rudy Giuliani may be suspended from YouTube.
Good.
Forever.
It's despicable.
he continues to promote conspiracy theories.
They're not conspiracy theories, they're different opinions. And I'm being punished for having a different opinion.
He's gotten 2 warnings now, and YouTube says if he continues, they'll just say you can't.
You just don't want to hear my different opinion, even though it's demonstrably wrong and can be proven false. It's my opinion.
Okay, and with that, that's the news.
Sports, weather, traffic.
Injured in an accident, everyone deserves an advocate. Call 801-355-5550 or go to utahodvocates.com. Well, I know you've all been anxious to hear what the University of Utah football schedule is going to be for this year, and they've released it yesterday. And Bill, you should care about this. Their opening game September 2nd is against your Wildcats. So that will be the first
My
game.
Wildcats?
Your Wildcats.
I have no interest. I don't own the team.
Your Weber State Wildcats.
No.
It's your alma mater. No? Okay. Anyway.
I'm a Nittany Lion, not a Wildcat.
Really?
Bill?
Did you go to Nit?
I was a Wildcat, but then I became a Nittany Lion.
Okay.
All right.
The Jazz are on the road. They play the Philadelphia 76ers early game, 5 o'clock tonight for that. Weather, it's spring. It will certainly feel like it today. 60 for a high and sunny. Now, there's a chance of rain/snow. I don't know where it's going to snow because it's awfully warm, but rain/snow overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. And then we start warming back up again, whereas on Saturday we could get up to 63 degrees then. Traffic has been very light this morning. Not a whole lot to tell you about. Whoa. Friend of the program texted in, crash eastbound 215. Okay, cross street or something would be great. But thank you for sending in that little bit of information. If you have a little more information, you can always text it to us at 33986. The Honda Dream Garage Spring event begins. 0% financing and other great deals for your Utah Honda dealers. See utahhondadealers.com.
All right.
Here's boner candidate number 3. Admiral Jackson. Ronnie Jackson, you remember him?
Yep.
It appears that he made many, many enemies during his rise as a naval medical officer that ultimately landed him a gig as the physician to the President of the United States. Donald Trump, however, was not one of those enemies. Trump was so enamored with Admiral Jackson, a square-jawed doctor with a nose for the political wind, that Trump tried to hand Jackson a spot in his cabinet in 2018 as the head of the Department of Veterans Affairs. Jackson's nomination was ultimately scuttled when former colleagues and subordinates began coming forward to say, you want to make this piece of dirt head of the Veterans Affairs Administration? What emerged was an unflattering portrait of a maniacal boss that once liked the booze, not to mention the odd sleeping pill, all of which resulted in numerous inappropriate interactions with female subordinates and coworkers. The blowback was sufficient enough to prompt an investigation by the Department of Defense. Inspector General, who, after years of digging, confirmed a number of the grisly details about Jackson, who, with Trump's backing, ran and won a seat in Congress. So he's now a congressman.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that came forward about Jackson: he made sexual and denigrating comments about a female subordinate, violated the policy for drinking alcohol while on a presidential trip, took prescription-strength sleeping medication that prompted concerns from his colleagues about his ability to provide proper medical care. In 2018, after his failed nomination to run the Trump and Obama administrations and or to ruin the Trump and he served during both the Trump and Obama administrations, but the investigation was launched in 2018 after his failed nomination to run for the VA. The final report has now come out. 78 witnesses, all claiming, I've seen him just do awful things and drink and take pills, and he's saying, I didn't do any of that.
Well, there's your cancel culture at work, Bill. 78 witnesses.
His boozy behavior, but he's a congressman now. So.
And Steph points out in Texas. He's a congressman. Texas,
in
of
Texas.
Of course.
All right. Number 3, Admiral Jackson.
All right. Let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. Excuse me. Sitting on a dead horse. Irish horse trainer, racing trainer, Gordon Elliott, banned in Britain for a social media photo that showed him literally sitting on a dead horse. Boner candidate number 2, Lion Ted Cruz, lying about Merrick Garland. Ted Cruz gets publicly rebuked. I left that part out of the story. The chairman of the Judiciary Committee said, Senator Cruz, you can't come in here and lie. You're lying to the public about this. And boner candidate number 3, Admiral Jackson.
All right, here we go. This is round 2 of your boners. You've got to decide. Of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day? If it wins here, it'll go up against the winner of round 1's voting, so choose strategically. We'll take both of these winners and put them against each other, and you will decide boner of the day at 9:20 this morning. That's when boner fight happens, all right? Right now, you got to pick your champion to send forward from this, round 2. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. Easy. Or you can call 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Voting March 3, 2021, and vote there. All right? You have until the end of these messages to do it. This is round 2. We got things that must go coming up in the next break as well. Stand by. Michael A. York and Associates.
Michael York and Associates. Michael York likes to talk about taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it, but he is he knows them, and he's a tax guy. If you have a small business, particularly, contact Michael York. He can really help you with deductions, payroll items, all kinds of stuff, and save
I don't
money.
have a small business. I just have this little thing I do on the side to earn a little extra money, but it's not a business.
Yes, it is. You have a small business.
You might have a small business and not even know it.
Yeah. So taxes are not fun. Michael York knows that. Well, they're fun for him. They're boring for most people, but not for Michael York. They're overwhelming for a lot of people, but not for Michael York. So contact Michael A. York and Associates at 801-REFUNDS. That's the phone number, 801-REFUNDS, or visit them online, michaelayork.com. Now, I have a little bit of advice for people for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
I saw this online today, and it says these are clever things that you can do.
I bet they're not clever.
For your St. Patrick's Day shenanigans. These are clever captions you could use on Instagram, for instance.
Okay.
And I'm saying if you do these things, you're a fool. You should not. Here, St. Patrick's Day captions for friends and loved ones on your Instagram posts. So as you post your stupid Instagram drunken pictures, you should caption them with things like this. I'm not Irish, but kiss me anyway.
No. Don't do that.
This is clever. These are clever things that people have thought up for you because you're not clever. How about this one? Irish, you were here.
No.
Never.
No? How about this one?
Don't use that.
About to get lucky, insert shamrock and wink face emojis.
No.
Lucky me, I have you. No?
I mean, that's just nice.
Irish whiskey makes me frisky.
I do like Irish whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
How about funny St. Patrick's Day captions for eating, drinking, and being Irish? The leprechaun made me do it. Take a picture. It'll last longer. Picture like as in picture of beer.
No,
Okay.
boo.
That is bad.
The patty don't start till I walk in.
That was kind of funny.
It is?
It made me laugh.
The patty don't start till I walk in.
It's a Kesher reference. The patty don't start.
Okay. Ready to get shamrocked?
No.
No. How about, cute St. Patrick's Day captions for babies and kids.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go. I'm telling you, don't use any of these. Little Miss Lucky Charm. So if you put
Oh,
a picture of your
yeah.
kid
This
there.
is like Instagram stuff.
Wee bit of trouble.
Oh.
My little good luck charm. Okay, Irish blessings and proverbs to use for St. Patrick's Day.
Let's try these. Maybe these.
Wind at your back and road racing.
May your pockets be heavy and your heart be light. May good luck pursue you each morning and night. Well, that's okay.
Okay. A little wordy, but
yeah. How about? Now these are all terrible.
Yeah. What do you do? What are you doing for St. Patrick's Day?
Nothing. I'll be in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Oh, crap.
Oh, my.
Oh, Bill, that's a horrible time to be in Vegas.
You just realized that?
I just realized that.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is
now,
bad.
wait a minute.
That's almost like being in Mexico on spring break.
Yeah, this is bad.
Wait a minute. What?
St. Pat's is Sunday.
I'm gonna wait a minute. It's on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly am I going to be doing on Sunday? Let me see.
This is bad. Don't leave your hotel room.
Yeah, don't leave the pool.
Sunday, I'm going to be. I'm going to be at the Piff, the Magic Dragon show.
It's on Sunday?
Yeah.
Well, then you might be okay if you're at. I just wouldn't be out on the street.
Everybody in the audience is going to be drunk.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really, really
Oh,
drunk.
yeah. Absolutely.
So you should be just
well.
So you fit in.
No,
I wouldn't. Yeah, don't go to Vegas on St. Patrick's Day,
New Year's Eve,
or New Year's. I know. I did New Year's in Las Vegas, and oh man, what a mess! What an absolute mess.
I mean, I didn't even think about that. I just.
Oh wow.
So.
Well, maybe you should take one of those cute sayings with you and use
it. Kiss me, I'm Irish.
Yeah.
No. So I will be sober so that I can fend them off.
You take your cudgel.
I have one on my desk.
I know. Take it.
I will.
You can beat people away from you as you go through the crowd.
And I wouldn't be sober if I were you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to take. You know, if you're sober, it's going to be worse.
Well, I'm just afraid I won't. I'm just afraid if I'm not sober, I will get in a fight. If I'm drunk, I'll get in a fight.
Stay in your pool.
Yeah, don't get in a fight.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Because my defense, I'll just be.
Your defenses are down.
My defenses are down, and I'll just be. I don't take that kind of crap from anybody. And then I'll get beaten up.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Okay, 847. We're going to award the boner here and then get to things that must go. Round two, let's go.
And round two of the boner voting is brought to you in part by Slaw.
Is it a vinegar-based slaw or a
Sweet.
mayo-based slaw? What kind
It was
of?
vinegar-based.
Okay, that's the better kind. I like that.
Rice vinegar, as a matter of fact.
And enjoy exhibits and films at Clark Planetarium, now open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Reserve your tickets at clarkplanetarium.org. Enjoy an experience that will leave you in awe. Reservations are required.
Boner candidate number 1, sitting on a dead horse. Irish racing horse trainer Gordon Elliott banned from horse racing, essentially, in Britain because there was a social media photo of him literally sitting on a literally dead horse. And he was talking on the phone. Boner candidate number 2, Lion Ted Cruz. Enough said. He was a lot of lies he was telling about Merrick Garland confirmation hearings, mainly so he'd get on Fox News. And and then Admiral Jackson, of course, Ronnie Jackson, the personal physician to the president for a little while there. Just horrible human being. And now he's a congressman.
Yeah.
Margaret won a tote bag, or the promise thereof, and I would have thought that number 1 would win. But people really hate Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
It's number 2.
Don't underestimate the hate for Ted Cruz.
Now, if only we could get Texas to hate Ted Cruz. All right. There's your winner of round 2. It now goes forward to Boner Fight. Might be Boner of the Day. We'll find out when this candidate and the candidate winner from round 1 go against each other at 9:20 this morning. That's when you'll decide Boner of the Day. Quickly, before things that must go, just a quick heads up. Coming Monday, we're going to announce yet again the Radio from Hell Film Festival. We have information about that coming up. So filmmakers, start thinking about your movies. Stand by for that. All right. Things that must go, brought to you by...
Dirt, dust, dander, and allergens are no match for Zero Res carpet cleaning. Want the contaminants gone? Call Zero Res right now. Just $33 per room to get your carpets Zero Res clean. Minimums apply. Call or schedule online. Zero Res carpet cleaning.
Things that must go on the Radio from Hell Show.
These are things that are bugging you, friends of the program. And you send them in to us via email, radiofromhell@x96.com. You put must go in the subject line, and sometimes we read them and we go, huh? Why is that bugging you? That's weird.
What's the big deal?
But it helps it get
Your baby? You're just a baby.
Yeah. If it helps get it off your chest, then we're performing a valuable public service. So this one, I'll start here. It says, hello, I'm a big Jeopardy fan. And I've been watching the show for years, and as you know, in November, the great Alex Trebek passed away. He was a great man who left behind a great legacy as one of the greatest game show hosts of all time, next, of course, to the legendary Kerry Jackson, host of Beat Gina. Since then, they've been having guest hosts on Jeopardy, with Ken Jennings recently finishing his stint. Now the Jeopardy executive producer Mike Richards is filling in. My thing that must go is everyone complaining about the guest hosts not being like Alex Trebek. No, they're not Trebek. They never will be Trebek. And we can't hope to have anyone exactly like Alex Trebek ever. However, everyone who is hosting has a great love for the game and respect for trivia and knowledge, and they've done good jobs. Trebek always said the show will continue without him, and while I too deeply miss him and his voice and mannerisms, the new hosts are doing a fantastic job keeping the game alive. I will still watch it no matter what.
Nice.
Because, as Alex used to say, the show is not about the host, but the players and the game. I hope Jeopardy continues a long time into the future. That's from Tyson. This one says, what must go is my dog barking at every other dog she sees when I take her for a walk. My arms are 2 inches longer due to her constant pulling. You need to train your animal. Developers who try to put 17 apartments in a space that would normally house only one family. People in cars who pull across the sidewalk when I walk through Sugar House. I swear one of these days I'm going to open their car door and walk right through the car. And okay, these may be first world problems, but nonetheless, love your show. And I work in a hospital in the Valley. Most of the staff bathrooms have a keypad to enter a 4 or 5 digit code to unlock the door. Once inside, you lock the door from the inside.
Yeah.
The keypad will not work when somebody's in there with the door locked.
Okay.
What must go is the moron who will continue to try the code over and over and over again until you yell, "Occupied!"
You know, that little occupied thing from the airport bathroom, that needs to be in all public restrooms. It's, you know.
All right. Carrie?
Let's see, this one from Rachel. My thing that must go is pretty simple. Gina, you shouldn't have had tissues sponsor this.
Uh-oh.
When your tissues do not work right, and you have to stick your hand in the tissue box and scrape your finger on the tissues and try to find the edge to pull them back through the top that must go. Also, when you aren't able to find a single tissue to pull through at the end, you have to pinch the thing, and you're pulling out like 15 tissues at once.
Yeah,
because
then you
they're
gotta
all
shove them
packed
back
in there so
in, yeah.
tight, you know.
Yeah.
They should have like a tab. They should have a tab or something that starts it.
Oh, yeah.
Just another $1 million idea I'm throwing out there. She says, I'm having allergies today, if you can't tell. Thanks for finding a way to continue to broadcast and stay safe at home. Thank you, Rachel. This one from, let's see, Jeff. My must go is my coworker that doesn't seem to care or notice that literally nobody listens when they talk.
Oh, that's sad.
Now, I know this sounds mean, but it's a small office. We've all heard every story they've told 50-plus times, and they take 3 hours to tell a story that can be told in 2 minutes. And we can all recite these stories verbatim from memory. What complicates things is they just returned to work after a three-month hospital stay. So if I yell at them, then I'm the insensitive jerk, but I don't know how much more I can take. Please make it go away. Let's see, this one from not signed, so I will not say who. Good morning. It says you could use my name in the body there. Zach. Some people, a.k.a. Karens, that show up to the grocery store with no mask, then proceed to take their underwear off and put it over their face just to say they have a mask on.
Who does that?
I don't know. I'm wondering if Zach has seen this. I'm sure your thong or lacy underwear has holes in it that do not prevent germs. You see, there's the real problem.
Oh, that's... Son, you got a panty on your head.
All right, that's what I got.
Gina?
One from me. Uneven curbs must go.
Okay.
Also, let's see. Thank you for letting me listen. As a teacher who recently went back to in-person learning while also teaching online at the same time, this school year must go. Parents complained when we were just online. Now back in person, they complain we don't have enough subs on Tuesdays. The kids have to go to the gym for a bit sometimes. Those parents must go. Also, legislators who bullied Salt Lake City School District into returning and threatened withholding money and dissolving our district. By the way, our union is holding a press conference today. I think that was yesterday, actually. I'll be holding a sign saying local control, not for Salt Lake City School District. Thank you all. You can use my name, Lena. Then there's this one from Stacy. People who don't understand how shipping times work. I work for a company that ships product daily. The amount of people who don't understand that shipping time is business days and doesn't include weekends is staggering. Also, I'm sorry the storm in Texas has delayed your shipment. We don't control the weather either or the postal delivery schedule. Thanks for letting me vent. Stacy. And finally this. I'm sure I'm the 96th person to say this, but comments about how it's a so-called novelty of you guys working from home must go. I've been a dedicated listener since God knows when, and I can say that the show has not suffered in the slightest during this time. If it wasn't for you guys working at home, we probably wouldn't have gotten farting around, my new favorite feature. Breathless Sean Means...
You think something like farting around just happens?
Yeah,
no, it has to be a certain harmonic convergence. Anyway, sorry, go ahead, Gina.
Breathless Sean Means walking in the park and doing his movie reviews. Keep up the good work. Make mine a double. At home, please. Geek Show says hey. And go get him, Gina. Love, Brady.
Gina, the novelty of you broadcasting from home is wore off, man.
On the radio.
Travel. traffic, Gina, please.
I got a heads up for you. Nightly double lane closures will be in effect for the next several weeks while crews are working on overhead signs on I-215 South. Restrictions will be in place on the westbound lane starting at Knudson's Corner. If you need more information, just go to the UDOT website. That's traffic.
Thank you very much. Coming up, we do have for you a boner fight to determine boner of the day, a reasonable amount of news, and Beat Gina coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. You could win a $100 gift card from the CW. Nice. BigOTires.com. If you're driving around and get a flat, just pull out your phone, look in your browser, BigOTires.com. There's one near you.
I have done this because, see, I usually go to the one on Highland Drive. That's the one they know me when I pull in there. But I found myself in Ogden with a very, very low tire and thought, oh, surely there's a Big O tire near me. There's more than one in Ogden. I found one and they fixed me up.
You keep this up, Gina, they're going to know you at all of the locations along the Wasatch Front. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Lowest price on every tire, every day, guaranteed. Big O Tires. They have all the major brands. They have Continental, Yokohama, Goodyear, Michelin, Cooper, the very own Big O brand tires. Right now through April 4th, you can save up to $150 off Nitto, Toyo, or Pirelli tires at Big O Tires. They are the team you trust. To find a location where Gina Barberi has had them fix a flat, go to BigOTires.com. We're having second thoughts because people will assume that's why we named him Donovan, and it's not the case.
And they picked it long before.
Yeah. Just parenthetically, there's a news story today that says 109 parents have apparently in 2018 named their baby Tesla. But I got an email from our former organized intern, Sarah Spain, about baby names.
Okay.
Said, I enjoyed listening to that letter from the woman who would like to name her child Donovan. I had a similar situation about 10 years ago. Despite the fact that my husband has repeatedly begged me to stop comparing our dog to other people's children, he's not here right now, so I'm going to do it. So they don't have kids, but we adopted a 2-year-old JRT.
Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Thanks, Carrie.
Carrie speaks dog.
From the Humane Society in 2010. And her name was listed as Belle. Now, I feel strongly that dogs should have 2-syllable names.
You should feel strongly about that.
Nicknames and full titles notwithstanding, and so I changed it to Bella, trying to keep it as close to her original name as possible. A friend told me several years later that dogs are named like hurricanes as they come to the shelter. They just give them a name.
Yeah.
You can change it to whatever you want. They just give them a name because they want to call them something, but it's not that they respond to it necessarily or anything. So if you recall, in 2010, Twilight, the sparkly teenage vampires, was very popular, and every person asked me if I had named my precious fur baby after that awful character from those books. I would posit that it's an actual insult that someone would think I would stain a creature with a name from the book series than someone thinking that you would name a child after, as Gina pointed out, a wonderful, generous human being and basketball player.
Yes.
However, years have passed and not one person asked me if I named her after Twilight anymore. The question I get asked more often now is whether she is male or female, and my favorite response to kids especially is that her reproductive organs were removed, and I've never been able to ask her how she identifies, so I'll just call her Bella and don't worry so much about the label. Like that. As Bill mentioned, in the time young Donovan is in school, not Donovan Mitchell, but the kid, Spida Mitchell will probably have retired. Regardless, Donovan is a lovely name. It isn't like Avery, Office Products, or Stockton. Malone has a middle name, sure, but as a first name? Some people shouldn't be, Malone as a middle name, sure, but as a first name? Some people shouldn't be allowed to procreate. Or Zebulon or Elzard, hand to Thor. I absolutely attended school with both of those.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, Elzar and Zebulon. Or many of the other asinine names that people come up with to make their kids different. All it does is make each school year difficult as the teacher and new friends try to figure out how to say and or spell the name. So you shouldn't care what other people think. If 5 people think you named him after a great person and a basketball player, so what? At least it isn't someone who is a real turd. My name is Sarah every day. And every day I want to smack Sarah Huckabee Sanders for smearing our good name.
That's right.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a name for a child that doesn't carry with it someone who had it before. Good luck. Hope you get lots of sleep before August. I don't know why before August. What?
Don't know.
I don't know.
Is something happening in August?
Do we not know?
I don't know.
Does she know something we don't?
Maybe.
Oh, no. She's talking about the people whose baby's going to be born in August.
Oh, she's not talking to us.
No.
She's talking to them.
Okay, good.
Confusing.
She says, adopt, don't shop. Love the show. Gina, you don't ruin anything. Love your former intern. Sarah.
You know, I was at that graduation this weekend, so you spend 3 hours listening to names being read.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 princesses.
The name.
The name Princess. And one of them, middle name.
What?
Leia.
Really?
Princess Leia.
I thought they didn't say the middle name.
No, I said some of them
Don't they know that she's a general? General Leia.
Well, it's
Sanderson.
Not a princess anymore.
But there was an actual Princess Leia.
Wow. Emily's.
A lot of Emily's.
You've gotten a lot of crap over the years for naming your kid Festus.
I have.
Yeah.
He was the only one in his class.
Festus, it's a biblical name.
And people spell it wrong all the time. They spell it with an IS. No. On his birth certificate, it's US.
Festus. It's a biblical king. Look it up. King Festus. It's true.
But yeah, if you want to run your baby names by us, email them to us, radiofromhell@x96.com.
Yeah, if you have any doubts about baby names or you're having a hard time coming up with one, my go-to name is Shlomo. But
there's a chat room. I know a guy named Zoltan Kolazar.
Oh, poor guy.
Well, he's Hungarian. I don't know.
I think that's Zoltan is a name that they give kids in Hungary.
A friend named Rachel was an elementary school teacher. One year, her bad student was also named Rachel. She spent every day yelling at herself.
Rachel!
Yeah, don't ever talk to teachers about what your baby name is, because inevitably they've had someone in their class that was the terrible kid has that. So just don't run it by teachers. You'll never be able to pick a name because they all have. Oh no, that's.
I had a bad Thane once.
A bad Thane?
Thane.
Thane.
Thane. He was a bad kid.
Thane.
I pulled Thane out because someone in the chat room says, "I love my son's name, Thane."
Thane.
Oh, is Thane a Utah thing?
No.
Are there Thanes everywhere?
Are there Thanes?
Yeah, I think so. It's not common, but it is.
I feel like it's a Utah name.
No, it isn't.
And I don't know why, and don't take this personally if your name is. I've never cared for the name Nathan.
How do you feel about Nate?
Nate's all right.
For
some reason, Nathan. I've just never cared for that name.
I saw our friend Nathan from the mattress firm. He now works at R.C. Willey. See, Nathan, he's a nice guy.
He's a good dude. Yeah, I've never cared for the name. Like I said, don't take it personally. It's something wrong in my brain. All right?
I'm looking up Thane, Gina, just to see. But
how popular
is
I
don't know how popular
Thane?
it
Well,
is.
if it's very popular, then it must be everywhere.
Well, no, I don't know that.
I know a dude named Christian Shank. The hell? The last name Shank. There's just no right name, I think. Because
it is balloon.
On this day?
Yeah, in 1984, Nena started a 3-week run at #1 on the UK singles charts with that song. I prefer the Goldfinger version of it, which is what we played. And they did a COVID quarantine version of this, where all the members of Goldfinger were in their respective homes and performed it. And actually did Katie, I know you like that song. You should go find that Quarantine 99 Red Balloons. They did a really good job. And the cutest part of it is the lead singer, and I'm not going to think of his name right now, but the entire time he's performing, and he's doing what Goldfinger does, jumping around the room and stuff. And the whole
with
time
hot dogs sometimes?
No. His dog, his pet dog, is like asleep on the couch, and at the very end of the song, he's like jumping around and being crazy, and then he just goes over and just is petting the dog on the couch. It's very cute. Go watch it.
Well, I prefer the Nena version in the original German. That's what I really... He's balloon! 99 red balloons at a June 1982 concert by the Rolling Stones. Nena noticed balloons were being released. He watched them go toward the horizon and then wrote the song 99 Red Balloons.
Who did?
Oh, excuse me.
The guitarist for Nena. His name is Carlo
Yeah, you
Cargas.
said, it was like Nena didn't.
No, she was the singer in a band, and he was the guitarist. And he watched the balloons being released and saw them going toward the Berlin Wall and float over the Berlin Wall. And it's a song about escaping from East Berlin and so forth.
That is.
So that's why I prefer the original Nena version in German.
There's some meaning there.
I'm going to tweet out that Goldfinger Quarantine one, just if people want to see it.
Well, I'm going to tweet out the Nena German one.
And I'm going to be tweeting out the funniest thing that I've seen in a very long time.
You were playing this off the air, and I find it amusing for about 45 seconds.
No, but that's part of the joke.
That's the whole point of the joke.
Yeah, and I don't...
Can you sit through the whole thing for the payoff at the end?
No, I didn't hear the very end, I don't think.
Well, we didn't get to the end because it's that long.
Yeah. This is from Family Guy.
Yes.
And
It's too long to play as a drop.
Can we just play it now?
But, we don't have time. That's how long the bit is. But it goes back to the Family Guy tradition of how long are they willing to commit to a bit.
And I love that they go away for like this is valuable TV time.
This is network television.
I know. Don't put that. Don't put those two words together, though.
It's network
valuable
television,
and TV time.
and he is just doing what he wants with like 3.5 minutes of expensive network television.
For a joke that most people won't get.
For a joke that 5 people are going to get. And I admire that. Seth MacFarlane is a genius just for that reason. Well, it's like the Conway Twitty bit that he does. They'll finish a sketch on Family Guy. They won't know where to end it. And so Peter will look at the camera and go, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty." And then they'll cut to a Conway Twitty video. And you wonder how long they're going to do it. The first time he did it, it was 20 seconds. Second time he did it, he got about 45 seconds of the song. Third time, whole minute and a half. But this time...
I love that they're willing to go there.
He does the Hudson Brothers. And yes, that's
Who?
real. Exactly. That's part of the joke.
Yeah. I like the first part of the joke, the Kate Hudson joke part.
That sets up for... Yeah. It's one of those you have to sit and wait for the payoff.
For how many minutes?
The whole segment is 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Yeah. So, and in internet time, that's like a half hour.
Yeah.
So,
I salute you, Mr. MacFarlane.
Is it Seth MacFarlane doing this, or is it?
Well,
because I know you've said that other people have really taken over the show.
They have, but he still has to approve everything because he's executive producer. All the scripts and concepts have to go through him, and he can reject or say yes to. Oh, I just have to admire that. All right. I'll tweet that out sometime here in a bit.
I'll watch it on your Twitter.
It'll be
at
kind of like
RFH Carey.
That'll kind of be like when our show ends and never comes back on the air again. You'll finally get the joke.
Let's see. Coming up, we've got Boner Fight. Stand by for that, along with a reasonable amount of news. X96.
So my daughter yesterday came downstairs and she said, I took a personality test and I am the rarest personality type in the world.
Which is what?
Well, there's this test called the Myers-Briggs test.
I'm taking this test right now. You send it to us.
I'm doing it now.
I'm trying to take it while you're talking, so go ahead.
And I think one of her classes at school, this was an exercise they were doing like in health class or something, but she was quite proud of the fact that she was the rarest personality type in the world, which is, there's a bunch of different kinds. There's the architect, the logician, the commander, the debater, the advocate, the mediator, the protagonist, the campaigner, the defender, the executive, the counsel. There's a bunch of them.
It says 16. Isn't that what it means? 16 personalities?
And she was an advocate, which is someone that's, they say like Nelson Mandela is an advocate, and Mother Teresa is an advocate, and that sort of. So she was very excited, and she said to my husband, she said, Dad, I want you to take this test because we are so similar. I bet you're the same.
I thought she was going to say, I want to move to South Africa.
I bet you're the. Now these tests, who knows how accurate they are. However, I look at how it describes her, and my husband was like, I don't think we're going to be the same. He took the test. He is the same as her. And I took the test, and I am not the same as them. They are advocates.
Did it indicate that you had a personality?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm a mediator. I am.
No kidding.
No, but so if you say these tests are bunk,
I don't think they're
bunk. That doesn't surprise you when you hear that that's what mine is, right?
No, I think that they're. That they can be one gauge, one way of looking at a person and trying to figure out what they're like.
Yeah.
It's not everything, but
I found it very very interesting. But it says mediators you may know, people that share my personality type. William Shakespeare.
Well, your personality type?
Mine.
Yours, okay.
Alicia Keys, Bjork.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bjork.
Tom Hiddleston. I don't know why.
Tom Hiddleston is there?
I don't know why.
Okay.
But the last one they say, the mediators you may know, famous people that share your personality type. Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts.
So this is why I want you guys to take.
I wish you had sent this early enough. We could.
Yeah, this is taking a while.
I'm trying to get through it here, and I can't. I'm not going to be able to get through it through the.
I think there's like 30 questions. Maybe you guys can take it, and we've got time before the end of the show. We can revisit it.
Okay, I'm going to stop taking it right now because I can't focus on. Can you focus on two things at once?
Is that a
question?
Yeah.
I disagree.
You have got detailed education or career development plans stretching several years into the future. Well, hell no. You rarely dwell on your regrets. No, I dwell on my regrets constantly, so that would be disagree? All right, okay.
You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly... what are we talking about?
Yeah. Okay, well, you guys keep taking this during the commercials, And then maybe we have some space later in the show, I think, where we can get your results. And if people want, I'll tweet out this test if you want to take the test too. I found it to be very accurate.
You usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible. Well, let's not do this. Let's not.
Let's not do this.
Let's not do this now. Let's do it sometime later. Okay.
All right. Well, okay.
Okay. Does that sound like a plan?
All right. We'll take it off.
I'm
the
mediating
air.
this. I'm helping us through this.
We'll see. All right. All right, 9:20 right now. We got Boner Fight coming up here in about 6 or 7 minutes. So before that, a reasonable amount of news brought to you by
Young Power Sports in Centerville is Utah's newest power sports dealer. Tri-City Performance is now Young Power Sports in Centerville, your Polaris Victory motorcycle dealer. See inventory online at youngpowersports.com.
Well, I thought you might have this in sports today, Gina.
What's that?
Well, you know, Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
He thinks he's going to become Johnny Golf.
Good luck with that.
So the story of Johnny Manziel, as I recall it, and you, Gina, will remember it better than I, so correct me if I go wrong here.
Yes.
Ohio State? Ohio State?
The Ohio State?
Actually, I don't know.
Football quarterback. He was supposed to be so good that he would revolutionize the game of football, and people called him Johnny Football because he was football. Mm-hmm. And as it turned out, as he went to the pros, he was miserable, terrible. And as it turns out, he was terrible because he's an alcoholic.
Texas A&M is where.
Texas A&M. Okay. Am I going right so far, except for the opening?
Yes.
Horrible alcoholic, couldn't play worth a lick anymore. Apparently he was very good in college.
Yeah, he was.
Went up to Canada, washed out there.
Mm-hmm.
Same problems. He's been in and out of rehab, jail. Well, he's now going to become a professional golfer. He says he's going to pursue that career. The 28-year-old former Heisman Trophy winner revealed he's devoting the next 12 years of his life to golf in hopes of making a PGA Tour event.
See, now I can dovetail this, Bill, because Alex Smith has been let go from the Washington football team.
Former University of Utah quarterback, Kansas City quarterback, broke his leg in a gruesome accident, went to Washington and played. Now he's been let go.
He was a comeback player of the year last year, and they've let him go. And I've been trying to talk him into switching to golf because it's less dangerous, Alex. So maybe, you can follow Johnny Football the golf route.
Now, Johnny Football, of course, he's currently the quarterback of the fan-controlled football's Zappers. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But for fun, he has no plans to get back to the NFL, but he says as for golf, he's been playing casually all his life, and he's going to now try and be a pro.
Good luck with that.
Jodie Comer. She's quite good. An actress in Killing Eve.
Yes.
She plays the evil Villanelle in that show. She is going to be in Ridley Scott's next movie, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
After blowing him away with her upcoming performance in The Last Duel, which has that movie come out? Is that I don't recall.
Don't know.
Ridley Scott is moving fast to work with Jodie Comer again and looks to have found the next project to team up on. Sources tell Deadline that Comer is Ridley Scott's choice to play Napoleon Bonaparte's beloved Josephine in Apple Studios production called Kit Bag. Now, I'm not sure why it's called Kit Bag. It's about Napoleon and Josephine, but there you are. Joaquin Phoenix would play Napoleon in that movie.
Well, he's too tall, right?
I don't know.
I don't think he's that tall.
And Sting.
I was thinking Peter Dinklage, but that's another.
A lot of people like the music of a Sting.
Yes.
He's releasing an album of duets, or releasing duets. Originally scheduled for release in November, his upcoming compilation album Duets is now due in March on the 19th. The former Police frontman, it says here, will promote it with a TV appearance and some single releases. Sting's duet with jazz legend Herbie Hancock, which is a version of the great standard My Funny Valentine, will be released March 11th on all streaming platforms. And then in the brand new Sting recorded duet album, he does songs with an African artist named Shirazi, and who apparently came to Sting's attention because this African singer did a cover of Englishman in New York. And
cool.
Sting really liked it and decided to do a duet with him. And let's see, who else has he got on there? You can go to duets.sting.com for more. Shaggy, Annie Lennox. Oh, Sam Moore from Sam and Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Mary J. Blige and Julio Iglesias, plus others.
This is the Funny Valentine with Herbie Hancock.
You make me smile in my heart.
That's nice.
Might be an interesting album to have
Yeah.
if you're a fan.
If you like the music of Steak.
A proposed new state flag for Utah, one that once looked promising, may be ditched because of an association with a controversial social media site.
I like this flag. I think it's pretty cool looking.
I kind of like the way it looks, too. I had never heard of this social media site, but the Salt Lake Tribune reports that the flag design submitted by businessman Richard Martin was close to being designated as at least as a commemorative flag for Utah's 125th anniversary of statehood. However,
you can see it at x96.com/live. We have a slide of it up there.
However, Democratic state lawmakers are concerned after they learned a hashtag used by groups known to use harsh rhetoric, as they put it, to defend the doctrines of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, has adopted the flag on social media posts.
If I can make our Democratic legislators feel better about this.
All right.
Lots of people use the American flag in their hashtags, and we're not stopping using the American flag. Just because this one hashtag is using it doesn't mean we shouldn't have it as a state flag.
That's a little different. The American flag has been established for over 200 years. This is a new flag, and if people associate it, now the name of the hashtag and what it is, and I had to look it up, it's hashtag DesNat.
It's like
I
Des.
guess
It's like
DesNat,
Deseret.
Yeah.
DEZNAT. DesNat, meaning Deseret Nation. And if you go to Deseret Nation, there's all kinds of real fundamentalist
it's a mess
stuff,
Yeah.
And not. I mean, I just looked at it for 30 seconds. So, but I kind of understand if Des Nat has adopted that flag as kind of their banner somehow, I would be hesitant as well to.
Yeah, maybe we can come up with something
to put it, even though it is a nice design.
Yeah.
So they've already got it somehow, and it had nothing to do with the guy who created it. You know, he just designed it.
There we go.
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, it is time for the winner from round one, Boner Candidate round one, back in the 7 o'clock hour. Can a vaccine be morally compromised? No, it really can't. But an archdiocese in New Orleans, Catholic archdiocese, they're urging Catholics to avoid using the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine because they claim that it's morally compromised because it was derived from aborted fetal cells. There are no fetus cells in this vaccine. It's ridiculous. Boner candidate number 2 is Lion Ted Cruz. Enough said, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Lion Ted Cruz. That's it.
All right, there you go. You've got to decide of these two candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to be Boner of the Day. 1 or 2. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. Pretty easy. Or you can call and speak to a human being. Hey, contact 877-602-9696. Or you can go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Fight March 3, 2021. Now, if you don't see that box when you get to the website, refresh your browser. We just put it up there, so it'll take a second to do that. So that way you can vote online. You have until the end of these messages to do it. This is Boner of the Day. Let's go. Time once again for one of our new regular features. It's called
Hello, Sailor Boys!
I have sailor mail from Festus, who's at boot camp at the Recruit Training Command in Great Lakes, Illinois. It says,
Festus is Gina's son, ladies and gentlemen. Most of you know that, but it doesn't help to reset.
Hey, Mama, 19 days till graduation. I've been a lot busier the last few days, and being busy makes it more bearable living with 90 18 to 25-year-old males. It's usually hard enough just living with myself. We passed our bunk makeup and personnel inspections almost flawlessly and are currently at the top of our training group.
Now wait, so they inspect their bunk, they inspect their makeup, and they have training sessions. I didn't know they wore makeup.
Apparently.
You know, that camouflage makeup, you know.
Our drill or marching inspection is in 2 days, so we've been marching for at least 2 hours a day to practice for the coming week. Next week, we're going to do guns. You know how much I love guns. USA, USA. And the week after that, firefighting training. We're pretty much on our way to being the cat's pajamas, but like in a cool military way. Last night for dinner, we had pulled pork and potatoes, too, so you could say it could be worse. Yeah. By the way, I think Pulled Pork and Pistols should be the next Clint Eastwood movie, probably if he hasn't died already. Has he? I want to know everyone who's died since I've been here. I missed the news. I really went from 0 to 100 knowing everything that was going on, coming here and knowing diddly squat. So give me the headlines. By the way, I appreciate the friends of the program that have sent me letters telling me what's going on, too. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you when I get out. And the mountains. I also want to see the mountains. Sorry if you haven't gotten my letters. The Navy's mid-pandemic postal service is not up to par, but I'm getting more of them recently. P.S. I know my handwriting is atrocious, but really, who was expecting any more than that? Love, Festus. I also got a message from his wife yesterday who said, has Festus called you today? No, I haven't talked to him. He hasn't called me the whole time he's been gone. He gets a few phone calls, and they they always go to his wife.
Mm-hmm. How long has he been gone now?
He left on July 26th.
Okay.
So, I said, no, he didn't call me today. Why? Is anything wrong? And she said, well, I was driving and I missed his call, and I'm wondering if he called you instead. I said, no, I didn't hear from him. Let me know, because they have scheduled calls, so you're close to your phone when it's supposed to happen. And she texted me a little while later, and she said, well, he was supposed to get a long phone call from me, but someone in his division thought it'd be funny to put shaving cream in somebody else's boot, and so the whole division didn't get their phone calls.
Oh,
really?
Those swabbies, those jacktars.
Really? This far in, we're still doing stuff like...
That's what you do when you sail the seven seas.
So they punished the entire unit?
Yes.
Because one guy?
Yes.
Yes, because you are supposed to be as one.
I don't want to be that one guy.
So
I
can you
saw
imagine?
Full Metal Jacket. I know how they take it out on you, you know?
Can you imagine saying, I get to call my wife, I haven't talked to my wife in a week, and I get a 5-minute window of a phone call, and they take it away from me because some jerk in my division decides to fill a boot with shaving cream.
I saw what
That's
happened.
the Navy for you.
I saw what happened to Vincent D'Onofrio in Full Metal Jacket. The socks with soap in them, you know. And
Yeah.
they hold him down, and I don't want to be that guy.
No.
Well, don't join, and don't put cream in anybody's boot.
No.
Well,
But I want to thank friends of the program again. I got lots of letters for Festus that I've been printing off and sending to him, and yes, he appreciates the news, as he keeps saying. It would be hard, like for us, we do this every day, and we are very involved in the news. Can you imagine being? I know Carrie tries to go on blackout sometimes, but can you imagine being not even having access to the news if you wanted it? Like you have no idea.
it would be delightful.
You
Well,
think
yeah, I mean-
so, but it would drive me crazy.
Well, it's like I said, it's because of what I do for a living that I'm paying attention to things. If I was not doing what I do for, this radio show and Geek Show podcast, I wouldn't pay attention to most of that stuff.
Yeah, I would let a lot of stuff slide.
I think I would just let it all go, you know?
But I had to write him a letter and tell him Chadwick Boseman died.
Oh, you didn't know about that?
You had
No.
to.
Well, no, that's what he wants to know. He's like, I need to know who died. Tell me who died.
Stop. He thinks he wants to know that. Keep it from him. Hide the ugly truth. How's he going to go on now that he knows that Chadwick Boseman is gone?
And Wilford Brimley. I told him about Wilford Brimley. Mm-hmm. And
well, that one was okay.
Yeah.
Well, this has been
Hello, sailor boy!
on X96.
So if you have a son in the Navy and would like us to read his letters on the air, please send them to radiofromhell@x96.com.
Okay, we're going to play Beat Gina coming up as soon as we award Boner of the Day. Tell Johnny to be ready.
Johnny, stay here.
Okay, all right.
He doesn't seem to want to play. I don't know.
He's against this for some reason.
All right. So the Boner of the Day winner, brought to you in part by a Thai-influenced lentil soup and some slaw.
And Strong Volkswagen, Utah's #1 volume VW dealer, home of the lifetime warranty. Unlock stronger pricing at strongvw.com.
We had boner candidate number 1. Can a vaccine be morally compromised? No, but Catholic Diocese in New Orleans says Catholics should avoid the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because they say it's morally compromised because it has a link to an abortion-derived cell line.
Jeez.
It's really tenuous, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Going against Lion Ted Cruz, lying about stuff in the Merrick Garland confirmation hearing for Attorney General. I thought for sure, Ted Cruz would win again.
Yeah.
Because he's Lion Ted Cruz and nobody likes him. But no. The winner was boner candidate number 1. Can a vaccine be morally compromised?
All right, that's your boner of the day for today, March 3, 2021. It is now qualified to be boner of the week. Johnny?
Yes?
We're ready.
All right, so bye.
Bye.
Because we need to, for sure, today, give away $100. We're making this special edition of Beat Gina especially easy. As a matter of fact, these Superman and Lois trivia questions are so easy that whoever wins may have such a tenuous grip on cognitive function that someone may have to come over and help them figure out how to spend the 100 smackers.
Wow.
So now, let's hold our collective breath as the virtual coin is tossed into the air along with the few bits of integrity we have left. And now here he is to toss that virtual coin and our scruples, Kerry Jackson.
Well, thank you, Johnny, and I'm sorry. Well, you take the rest of the week off after this, all right?
Thank you very much. I will need it.
We had our full lines on the phone. We tossed a coin off the air, and that determined that Nate will be our contestant today. Nate,
Good morning.
hi there.
Good morning.
How we play Beat Gina with this special edition, we made it really, really easy. We're going to toss a coin to determine who goes first. That will give you a great influence on how the game is played as far as chances of you winning go. Heads or tails, Nate?
Heads.
Heads, all right. Let's see. Coin toss app says tails.
She wins again!
Now, Johnny, we don't know.
I'm
We're going to do
sorry.
the trivia part yet. Now, whoever does win the trivia part, though, if I win, I don't get anything. But if you win, Nate, you get a $100 cash card from CW30. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's the all-new epic series, Superman and Lois. Watch Clark Kent and Lois face their biggest challenge yet, parenting twin sons in today's world. Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Utah's CW30.
All right. Okay. So Gina gets the question first, Nate. This is her chance. It's multiple choice to answer the question. If she gets it correct, she gets the point. If she gets it incorrect, I'm going to give you a chance to steal the point away with the correct answer. We'll go back and forth until somebody has 2 points. Are you ready? Okay. Gina?
Mm-hmm.
Which of Superman's foes was a colossal ape with kryptonite I-beams?
Okay.
Was it A, Trumpzilla,
Mm-hmm.
B, Johnny Depp,
Mm-hmm.
or C, Titano?
I'm going to go with C, Titano.
Very good.
One
I know
to
your
nothing.
instinct was to say A, but I put Zilla at the end, which would make it a lizard, and that's when you... that's how it...
1-0. Now Nate controls the question.
Come on, Johnny. You just have to...
All
This
right.
is the last one this week. You can do it.
I can.
Nate, here's your question. Both Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent, their mothers have the same name. What is it? Is it A, Maud, B, Phyllis, or C, Martha?
C.
Both their
You were
parents,
holding your breath there.
Both their parents are named Martha.
tied up there, 1-1, and now, as we
Yes?
tensely move to the next question that Gina controls, and this could possibly, I don't know if it will, but it could possibly just win the game with this question.
There's $100 riding on this, Johnny. This is a very big deal.
All right.
Hey, Nate, don't worry. You'll get the money anyway.
Yeah, Johnny.
I'm not even...
Gina?
Yes.
Your question.
Yes.
What is the name of Kal-El, Superman? What is the name of Kal-El's Kryptonian mother?
Not Martha?
Not Martha.
Oh,
Not
wow.
Martha.
Okay, all right.
What is the name of the Kryptonian mother? Is it A, In My Shay Vivan, B, Sostran
I just
Greta
got that,
Van,
by the way.
Right. B, Sostran Greta Van, or C, Laura Van?
First of all, Carrie Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, for those joke answers. That would be C.
C, Laura Van is correct.
Joke answer.
And you win.
Nate, I'm sorry you were a part of this, and even though
What about me?
Johnny, I'm sorry
Yes.
for you too, but
Thank
I feel worse for Nate. So even though I beat you, Nate, I think you still earned a $100 gift card from CW30.
Great, thank you.
All right, Nate, hang
You
on
know
the
what?
line.
I don't even get the $100 gift card, Nate.
No, you do.
I don't even get a handshake.
All right, hang on. We'll get your information, Nate, and mail you that gift card. And be sure to watch Superman and Lois on the CW30 here in Salt Lake on Tuesdays.
Goodbye.
Bye, Johnny. We'll see you. I still have a couple of questions left
Okay.
over. Maybe we'll get to those coming up. Stand by. We'll take a break and crawl towards the exits after these X96.
We have yet to talk about Wonder Woman 1984.
All right. Now, before we go further,
okay.
Bill, did you see it?
No.
Okay.
And I don't think I really care to see it.
Okay.
I didn't see the first one either, and I'm sorry.
It's good. You should see that one.
Why do you always do that? I say I didn't see the first. You didn't? What did I just say? I didn't see it.
The first one was great up
I heard
until
it was very good.
the climactic battle at the end, and then it had some ending problems. But other than that, it was terrific. So the second one, you go to the trouble to place it in 1984. I'm expecting a great soundtrack.
Yes.
Because the trailer, we had Blue Monday from New Order.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, this is just a hint of things to come. We're going to get a whole lot of great late 70s, early 80s songs. No.
None.
We got one.
A Frankie Goes to Hollywood song is in.
And it was Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, I believe.
But that's it. Is it a money thing? They didn't want to pay rights for.
Well, they didn't put that was the only song in it, or
it was the only 80s song in it. There was a scene where they were all going to this fancy ball, and Gal Gadot strides in this white gown, and she's just looking amazing. And it's Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Welcome to the Pleasure Dome is playing, and that's the only
that's it.
80s tune that I think we got.
What were there other songs from other eras?
Well,
No.
I mean, Hans
So
Zimmer
just
did the soundtrack, so
Yeah. That was your traditional movie soundtrack stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, songs of the era. That was it.
Oh, by the way, Mark O'Toole, it was his birthday. He wrote Two Tribes.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Along with Holly Johnson and Peter Gill.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been very excited about Wonder Woman 84 in our house because we all loved the first one so much, and I told the story yesterday, like, oh, should we watch it on Christmas? And Jonesy's like, no, we got to watch a Christmas movie. Little did we know there's the Christmas element to to Wonder Woman 1984. But so we watched it on New Year's Eve, and I had to fight to stay awake through it.
I heard it was a mistake. So it's no secret that Chris Pine is in it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I heard people talking about it. See, I didn't see the first one, so I didn't know that something happened to him in the first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, as great as Chris Pine is, and it was probably a mistake to bring him back for one thing.
Well, no, I think that was the least of the problems of this movie. It's boring. The best part of the movie was the opening sequence when they're, when Wonder Woman's the little girl and they're having, Amazon games and they're riding horses and shooting arrows and we're like, oh, this is
I saw that preview,
That was the best part. Carrie, do you agree that?
No, and they released that. They let you watch the first minute and a half of the movie, and it got your hopes up. And then there's a sequence right after that takes place in a mall that I actually quite enjoyed, because it was it was channeling Richard Donner's original Superman movie, where it was Superman's first night out, and he goes out and solves several crimes, and he encounters goofy criminals, who are stupid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went, okay, they're channeling Richard Donner. I can see that now. Okay, but then it took a direction.
It was just
took a different direction.
The storyline was stupid, and they could have, with that theme, just Wonder Woman 1984. That could have been a really fun, cool movie, and it just wasn't.
Well, that's too bad. I mean,
Now, not this week's episode, but last week's episode of Geek Show, at the very end of the episode, we take a half-hour deep dive into it. And I decided, since everyone else was piling onto the movie, that I would defend. I couldn't defend all of it, but I would defend what I could defend in the movie.
Which was
what? Well, you have to listen to the episode,
Okay.
or I'll just tell you off the air. Because I'm still hesitant to talk about it a lot because of spoilers.
Well, how was Linda Carter? Was she good anyway?
She was good
Wonder
in it,
Woman?
yeah.
She was good.
Linda Carter as Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
she was great.
So here's the one defense I will have. I love Gal Gadot.
Mm-hmm.
She's great.
Who is she in it?
She's perfectly cast as that person, and she's gorgeous.
And her boyfriend Lyle Wagner,
She's gorgeous, and she's great with the action scenes, and so she is wonderful. So that's my
right.
one positive.
I've got a bunch more on the positive side.
Okay,
but,
okay.
It was okay, not great. That's my review.
Deborah Winger, was she? How was she?
All right, it's 9:52 right now.
Our consultant had a really good idea.
What's
We
that?
really should be developing, this is our consultant, the all-knowing suit. We really should be developing the Radio from Hell crispy chicken sandwich. We need to get in on that.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a chicken sandwich now.
Mhm.
Everybody has a chicken sandwich. And it makes me want chicken sandwiches all the time, of all kinds.
So it's working.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it
So
is.
it's
I want to try them all the time. You bet. Bring me another crispy chicken sandwich. I want one now.
Well, I even want to try that fish sandwich I saw on TV last night.
A
Arby's
fish
has
sandwich?
got one. Yeah,
Arby's?
Arby's has got one. Yeah, everyone else is doing chicken sandwiches, and they're pushing a fish sandwich now.
Oh, interesting.
It looked all right.
I just.
Problem is I don't have any cash, and
Why do you need cash?
Yeah, you don't.
Because if I go out while I'm running errands and sneak one, Sue will see it on
I
the
see.
on the credit card receipt.
I see.
So if I have some cash,
Well, you need to have your sneak money. You need to have a little sneak fund.
I don't have any.
You know, she's listening to the show probably
Yeah, I
right
know.
now.
And you can't go to the ATM and
Nope.
get some cash because you say, what's this cash?
What is this?
What's this $25 in
Oh,
cash?
There's many times I've driven by places like that and gone, I got to stop now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear about it later. Would it be worth hearing about it
I
later?
don't have any untraceable cash. Now you know why the militias
funny.
like cash. They're not followed.
Do you have anything you could sell while you're out? Like just
There's an idea.
I'll trade you this Skeletor action figure
Mm-hmm.
for a fish sandwich.
I've
She'll
had the
never
same.
know.
I've had the same thing though. I think, I'd like to go. You know, I haven't had a Bounty Burger in a long time or whatever. At something at Arctic Circle, and I think and I'll pass an Arctic Circle. I go, maybe I should go. I have to get in line and use my card.
Everybody says, and Gina, you're a bad Catholic. They're pushing the fish sandwich because of Lent.
Yes, that's true.
Ah.
It's Friday. You can have it on Friday.
Is it a crispy fish sandwich?
It appeared to be crispy, and that's what the deep voice guy said.
Mm-hmm.
Crispy chicken sandwich.
We have the Catholic fish sandwich at Bobby's. Of course, that's the reason I always I miss the tiffin room because I'd always go to the tiffin room for halibut.
On Fridays, yeah.
On Fridays. I think that there were a lot of people who did that not knowing why. That they
I'm
were
sure.
I mean, I grew up in a Mormon household, and my grandparents were very religious, but they always had fish on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally, I said, why do we always have fish on Friday? Why are we doing that? And my grandfather said, it's something that the Catholics do. And I said, well, why? And he said, I don't know.
I never looked into it past
It's
that.
just an excuse to have fish on Friday, as far as I'm concerned. It's a cheat, is what it is. It's a workaround.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to have meat. Well, it's not really meat.
Yeah. We've got the meats and fish.
A fish sandwich. All right. Let's see. Well, let's do the promo, and then we'll work our way towards the exits. Ready?
Hmm?
We are so close to the weekend, but we still have Thursday's Radio from Hell show.
After some farting around, Carrie will have the latest in geek news for us at 6:45 a.m.
Then at 7:45, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall will join us for the weekly Salt Lake update.
And, of course, at 8 a.m., Sean Means has his latest movie reviews for us.
Don't fret, there will be more for Thursday's Radio from Hell show on X96.
And Sean's going to take his walk after the movie reviews, right?
He's
Katie?
been doing
Okay.
that. He's been doing that. And Gina,
I support him in his walks, but
Gina, what it says here is your line was after some farting around.
what did
Not
I say?
fart. You said fartin'. It says here farting, farting around. So
But
either
the
we
feature
need
is
to
farting
adjust.
around.
Well, okay, then Katie, you have to adjust the copy. Katie, for sure, it has to be fartin apostrophe.
Mm-hmm.
Fartin', okay?
Because
Got
farting that's
Okay.
not a funny word. Farting's funny.
Well, I don't know. It
Farting
depends on
is-
how you look at it. You say it's time to do some farting around.
Well, let's hear the jingle. Let's hear what the announcer says.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's farting around
Farting.
with
Yeah.
radio.
Yeah,
farting.
Definitely farting. Okay.
Or if it's Utah, it really should be Fortin.
Farting.
Did you fort?
I'm glad we got a ruling on that.
Yeah. Well, as long as our parliamentarian agrees with this.
I'm sure she'll be behind this. Gina, I wrote this Superman trivia question just for you.
Okay.
What robot maintains Superman's Fortress of Solitude? What
Okay.
robot? Is it A, Siri, B, Rosie? I'll get that for you, Mr. K.
Mr. K.
Or
Mr. Man.
Or Kalex. All right, so then there's that.
Thank you.
And then finally, what is the name of the shrunken city inside a glass jar that Superman protects in the Fortress of Solitude? Is it A, Levan, B, Loa, or C, candor. That's why I saved that one. That one was
Yeah,
not.
it's not as fun.
Is it candor?
Candor is the name of it. It's a miniature.
C-A-N or K-A-N?
K-A-N, because it's Kryptonian. It's a tiny. It's a city that's filled with Kryptonians, and
People
it's been
who-
shrunken down.
And they say they tell nothing but the truth. They always respond with complete candor.
Oh, don't go down the Superman trivia well.
Man.
You'll see things about the character, and you'll go, any geek who complains that that's not canon, I say, well, I'd like to show you what is canon,
Yeah,
okay?
'cause it's-
Let's take a look at this crazy crap that's happening. All right. I think we're good. Fine job, Katie, as always. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
You come at me with meat, I come at you with alcohol.
Corey is next.